A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And now, the life of Mary Sothern. Mary, driven almost frantic with fear for Max in the burning prison, has shown true courage. She has offered herself as a blood donor. Not only that, but she also has gone to comfort the wives and mothers of prisoners who are missing. Rare courage, Mary Sothern, rare courage indeed. But you do not know that the warden of State Prison, to conceal his own evil mismanagement, has threatened to prosecute Max and Cheney on the charge that they deliberately set fire to the prison. This, claims the warden, is because he punished them as troublemakers. Dr. Benson and Dr. Tracy, prison surgeons, have joined forces to outwit the warden. For if Max is found alive and the warden does make such accusations, it means that Mary's chance to hold on to her stock in the Sanders interest will be very small indeed. It is just a few moments later. Dr. Tracy and Dr. Benson had learned from the badly injured Cheney that Max was alive and uninjured up to an hour ago, but that he was trapped in the burning C block with Swede Larson, one of his cellmates. As the scene opens, Mary hesitates in the doorway of the improvised hospital.
You send for me, Dr. Tracy?
Yes, Mary. Come in. How do you feel?
Oh, I'm all right.
Mary, Dr. Tracy and I, we thought you might want to give a blood transfusion to someone you know.
Max?
Not Max, Mary. Not yet. But someone who brings us news of Max.
Cheney, then. It's Cheney.
Yes, Mrs. Sanders. It is Cheney. And I've never seen a more courageous deed.
You see, Mary, Cheney brought us a message.
Hold my hands down. Very tightly.
Cheney twisted through the red-hot bars of his cell, Mary. He came through smoke, through fire, through the deadly fumes of burning celluloid. And though his clothing was afire, Cheney never hesitated a minute. He was dazed and stupefied. His loyalty to Max Sanders made him find a way to the open. The fireman picked him up and brought him here.
What message did he bring? What message from Max?
Up to an hour ago, when he freed himself, Max was still alive and uninjured, hammering away at the door of his cell. It was just beginning to give way when Cheney left to carry a message to you and me.
John, remember what I said to you after you brought me back from the fire? I said I wasn't afraid anymore, that Max would surely come back to me. And then, John, you said Max will come back to you, Mary, soon.
Yes, Mary. I said that.
I knew, John, that the love we have for each other, you, Max, and I, it'd keep us safe from all harm. And now Cheney says that Max is alive and fighting his way out as Max would. Oh, but Cheney needs me. Quickly now, I'm ready, John.
Hey, nurse, you ready?
Thank you, God, for even this little time of hope. John carried so many burdens. Lighten his load, if only for a little while. And bring my dear Max back to me. Please. Please.
What's your face, brother? What's wrong with you? How it comes and goes in our throat. The systole and diastole of the heart. Life. The heart. All the mysteries of the mind of man will never fathom. And that heart of Mary Sothern beats for all of us. And Max, for Cheney, for Phyllis and the children. And for you too, Max.
More here than meets the eye, Tracy, my friend. Sturdy John Benson is in love with Mary Sothern. She knows it. and trust him. You can see that in the way she turns to him. The way her hand takes John Benson's hand for comfort. Max is the firebrand, the impetuous lover of her youth. And John Benson could be the warm glow of a hearth fire for her later years, but that's none of your affair, Ralph Tracy, prison doctor. Stay in your own little prison, as we all must do. Like poor Cheney there.
Like a warm blanket the old lady used to throw around me when I was a kid. The night was cold. The cold pile in the cellar was getting lower and lower. Got it like wine from my veins, warm and strong. Maybe this whole bad dream is past now. I'm heading for the Gingerbread Mountains, like in a song the old lady used to sing. There ain't no rain, no snow. The wind's always in the south.
Dr. Benson, this patient is dead.
Oh, poor Tim. You deserve something better than this.
Mrs. Sanders, we did all we possibly could to save him.
I know. It just seems so cruel.
Don't think it that way, Mary. We'll never know into what enchanted land Cheney stepped just a moment ago.
I shan't forget this night as long as I live.
Nor will any of us, Mary. I think that times like these are sent to purge us clean of all the mean thoughts and wishes that drag us into the dust.
Nurse, lead Mrs. Sanders over behind that screen. Give her cold compresses on her head and throat. Just lie quietly for an hour or two, Mrs. Sanders. Now, try to fall asleep.
Oh, I feel better already. Really, I do.
Say, something's happening out there. Better get out there and see what it is.
There he is. Dr. Tracy, I want that man held for questioning. That man Cheney there. He and his pal, Saunders and Lawson, set this fire.
Warden, Cheney is dead.
Oh, dead? I didn't know that.
And because of your criminal negligence, Warden, the lives of Sanders and Larson are also in danger.
That's what I came to tell you, Doctor. Sanders and Larson broke into C-block corridor, trying to break through a window into the courtyard.
Come on, let's get out there. Mary, look at that window over there.
It's Max. Oh, Max. Oh, I can't move.
Say, who's that tall man with him? With that big shock of yellow hair?
Sweet Larson, Max's cellmate.
Is Max... Is he...
Good for them, Mary. Good for them. They jumped from the window to the courtyard.
Are they all right?
They're out of sight. They're out of sight behind the wall. Mary.
What, John? What?
Max, I think Max is going to try to run that gasoline truck through the wall of fire. Get back, everybody. Get back now. Run away. Get back. They're coming through. Go in, Max, old man. Go in. Here they come. They made it. The gasoline just exploded. One side, please. Come along, Mary.
Oh, my darling.
Might have known you'd be here, Mary. Cheney, is the kid all right? He's out of danger, Max. He's out of danger. And you know, Max, you know that you and Sweet Larson saved the prison. Glad Cheney. Glad the kid's okay.
He's fainted, John.
Nurse, you take care of young Larson. His burns are only superficial. Hand me that tonic solution. Mary, Max is badly hurt, but you and I together, have to save him.
Yes, John.
We can't let him down. We can't destroy the three of us.
And now at last, Max, Sanders, and Mary are reunited. But for how long? How badly is Max injured? And what effect will the news of the death of his pal Cheney have upon him?
Adventures in time and space, told in future tense. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X. The soundproofed Happy Life home had cost $30,000 installed. It clothed and fed and rocked them to sleep and played and sang and was good to them. Their life purred on from day to day, measured and controlled by the nucleonic thermostats, the iridium sponge servo brains that made the beds and washed down the bathroom floors and made sure the salt cellars flowed freely without clogging. Twice a day the house paused, rang a quiet bell, and turned precisely 90 degrees on its axis in order that the view from the Solaroid living room windows might be varied to avoid ennui. Of course, the pride of the house was the nursery. The agent for the company had been most enthusiastic.
This way, right down the hall. All right.
What was that?
Oh, it's all automatic. The nursery turns itself on when you come within 10 feet of it. Soft automaticity. That's the motto of the company. All right, now, this is the nursery. 40 feet by 40 feet and 30 feet high. Separate power unit with automatic overload circuit breakers, inspected and approved by the underwriter's laboratory. The nursery is educational, instructive, entertaining, and therapeutic. The entire control mechanism is adjusted to the electroencephalographic key of the child.
How much does it cost?
30,000 FOB, Los Angeles.
But that's as much as the whole house.
Why, no. But we do want the best for our children, don't we?
Oh, yes, we want the best for our children.
And it was the best. The crystalline walls wavered from 2 to 3 dimensions. The pseudo-textured composition flooring shifted lightly from brick to dirt to waving grass. And the odorophonics wafted the scent of fantasy through the hermetically conditioned and filtered air. The nursery was the very best. But then they wanted the very best for the children. The technicians installed the nursery, and the heavy coaxial power cable was run in from the main line. The walls sprang to life, and the mental control banks and relays hummed.
All right, Peter and Wendy, this is your nursery.
What's so special about a nursery, Dad?
Plenty. You just go in and see.
Oh, do we have to? It's so big. You promised you'd play ball with me outside, Pop.
Go on, kids. Try out the nursery. It's better than any old yard.
Oh. Go on in, dear. You'll be surprised. Gee.
Go ahead, Wendy.
I'm scared. I'm not. Hey, it's nice in here. It is? Come on in, Wendy. Boy, look at the pictures on those walls. They're real. Well, almost real.
You can change them any way you like just by thinking about it.
Go on in, dear. Well, all right, Mommy. Hey, Wendy, look what I can do with the pictures. Oh, that's the white mountain from Alice in Wonderland. Sure. I just thought about it, and there it was. Well, let me try, Peter. Let me try. Go ahead. Just think. How about the... Oh, I know. I want to see the Wizard of Oz.
Well, dear, there we are.
They like it, don't they?
Well, why shouldn't they? All they have to do is think, and they've got whatever they want in 3 dimensions. Color, sound, and smell. Oh, think what it would have been like to have a nursery like that when you were a kid.
It's nice that we can give them all the advantages.
Why, sure. What else are we working for, huh?
Right.
Well, what do you want to do this evening?
Well, the Petersons asked us over for bridge, but...
Oh, we don't have to worry about the kids. They'll be all right in the nursery. Come on, Lydia. We deserve a night out.
And in the nursery, the walls were a kaleidoscope of time and space and imagination. The green forest of Sherwood and quiet forms of Robin and his merry men gave way to the roll of the high seas and the smell of salt in the air as Sir Henry Morgan sailed into the harbor at Jamaica.
It's my turn now, Peter. You've got to be fair. It's my turn.
Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz followed the yellow brick road round the nursery walls. Then Hansel and Gretel discovered the gingerbread house about 3 feet from the door. And from a high tower that stretched into the clouds, the little lame prince sailed out over his kingdom. And behind the crystal and quartz walls, the vacuum tubes and grids and banks of mental image tape spun quietly and efficiently, erasing the line between illusion and reality. Of course, the electric bill from Consolidated Utilities was tremendous, but it was worth it. The house went on. The stove hummed happily in the kitchen, making breakfast, dinner, and supper for 4, turning the eggs over lightly and producing popovers electronically calculated by capacity to a 30-volt current and specific gravity. The automatic laundry did the shirts with a medium starch in the collars, except the button-down Oxfords, which had no starch at all. The Happy Life home breathed contentedly as life proceeded with soft automaticity as guaranteed in the brochure and bill of sale.
George. George, I wish you'd look at the nursery.
Well, what's wrong with this?
Well, I don't know.
Well, that might...
I just want you to look at it, that's all. Or call a psychologist to look at it.
What would a psychologist want with a nursery?
Oh, now, George, you know very well what he'd want.
I was in the nursery last week. It's perfectly all right.
Well, it's different now.
Huh? What do you mean, different?
Well, I just want you to come and see.
Are the kids there?
No, Madge Allen took them to a show along with her kids. That's why I want you to look in now before they get back.
All right. What you expect me to do, I don't know. I'm no mechanic.
This isn't a question of a leaky faucet, George.
All right, dear, I'm coming.
The nursery light flicked on as they came down the hall. The relays clicked, and the tubes warmed, and chemical odor banks and pipes bubbled into life as they paused before the closed door.
Go ahead, George. Open it.
On all sides, in 3 dimensions, stretched the hot, tired landscape of an African veldt, reproduced to the last stick and pebble and bit of straw. The ceiling above them became a sky with a hot, yellow sun. A wind blew in from the baked veldtland. The hot straw smell of lion grass. The cool, green smell of the hidden waterhole. The great, rusty smell of animals. The smell of dust like red paprika on the hot air. And now the sounds. The howl of the jackal in the distance, the thump of distant antelope feet on grassy sod, and the papery rustling of the great vultures that wheeled and circled under the yellow, burning sun.
Oh, let's get out of this sun. It's a little too real.
Oh, no, George, you promised you'd look around.
Well, I don't see any.
Now, wait a minute. Look, there are the vultures.
Filthy creatures.
And there are the lions. Far over that way.
Yes, I see them.
They're on their way to the water hole. They've just eaten.
Eaten?
Yes, I can't see what.
Sun too strong.
Well, shade your eyes.
It's some animal. A zebra or a baby giraffe, maybe.
Can you see it? Are you sure?
It's a little too late to be sure. Nothing over there but clean bone. Vultures dropping for what's left.
George, did you hear that scream?
What scream?
Just now.
Sorry, hon, no.
Here come the lions. George, they're frightening.
Take it easy, Lydia. They're just illusions.
It was a miracle of mechanical efficiency. The lions prowling toward them over the tawny Veldt land. A miracle of inventive genius. Every house should have one. The lions were 15 feet away. So real, so startlingly real, you could feel the prickling fur on your hand. Your mouth was stuffed with the dusty upholstery smell of their heated pelts. The yellow of them was in your eyes, like the yellow of an exquisite tapestry. The yellows of lions and summer grass. The sound of the matted lion lungs exhaling on the silent noontide. And the smell of meat from the panting, dripping mouths.
George, I'm afraid. They're so real.
They're only an illusion, Lydia, that's all.
Watch out!
Oh, quick, outside.
Oh, George.
Lydia, my poor, sweet Lydia.
George, they almost got her.
No. Take it easy. Calm down.
Yes, but I could feel their breath.
No. Get a hold of yourself, Lydia. They aren't real. Walls, that's all it is. Crystalloid walls.
But they look so real.
Yes, darling. Of course they do. But it's all dimensional color reactionary process and mental tape film behind glass screens. It's all odorophonics and sonics. Now, here, take my handkerchief.
I'm afraid, George. Did you see? Did you feel? It's too real.
No, Lydia.
We've got to tell Wendy and Peter not to read any more on Africa.
Yes, of course, dear.
Do you promise?
Sure.
And lock the nursery for a few days.
Oh, now, wait a minute, dear. Let's keep our sense of proportion.
George, I want you to lock that place up.
Honey, you know how difficult Peter is about that. I punished him last week by locking the nursery for an afternoon, and he threw a tantrum, and Wendy, too. Honey, they live for the nursery.
I tell you, it's got to be locked. That's all there is to it.
Lydia, you need a rest.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough to do. I have too much time to think. All I do is set the menu selector dials at the beginning of the week.
But, honey, that's the whole idea. The house is automatic.
I know. But couldn't we turn it off for a couple of weeks? Just a couple of weeks and take a vacation.
You mean that you want to fry eggs for me?
Yes, I do. And darn socks, too. I feel like I don't belong here. The house is wife and mother and maid. How can I compete with the African Veldt? And you, George, you don't know what to do with yourself in the house when you're home. You're drinking too much.
Am I?
You feel useless, too.
Yes, I suppose I do.
George. Those lions can't get out of there, can they?
Oh, of course not, dear. Now, don't think about it anymore.
They ate alone. He sat idly watching the dining room table produce warm dishes of food from its mechanical interior.
You forgot the ketchup. That's better.
It wouldn't hurt to lock the children out of the nursery for a while. It was clear that they'd been spending too much time in Africa. Oh, that sun. He could still feel it on his neck like a hot paw. And the lions, the smell of blood. Remarkable how the nursery caught the telepathic emanations of the children's minds and created a life to fulfill their desires. The children thought zebras, and there were zebras. Sun, death, and death. They were so young. But long before you knew what death was, you were wishing it on someone else. But this, the long, hot African Veldt, the awful death in the jaws of a lion, and repeated again and again and again. The children came home dutifully at 8:30.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Pop. Hi, Peter. You want something to eat, Wendy?
No, thanks.
Well, we're just having dessert.
We're full of strawberry ice cream. And hot dogs. We'll just sit and watch.
Sure. Peter, Tell us about the nursery.
Nursery?
Yeah, it's all about Africa and everything.
I don't understand.
Your mother and I were just traveling through Africa with rod and reel.
There's no Africa in the nursery.
Oh, come now, Peter. We know better.
I don't remember any Africa. Do you, Wen? Run and see, huh? Sure. I'll be right back.
Wendy, come back here. Wendy.
She'll be right back, Pop.
She doesn't have to. I've seen it. Now, come on.
Sure, Pop. Wendy will tell us, though.
Could they be lying?
We'll see in just a moment. Peter, open the door.
See, Daddy? It's not Africa. It's Florida. Like in the yearling. There go the deer, see? It isn't Africa.
Yes, I see it isn't. Go to bed.
But it isn't 9 o'clock. No, it isn't.
You heard me. Go to bed.
Okay. Night, Mom. Night, Pop. Good night.
Good night, dears. I'll be right in.
Lydia, wait a minute. Here, look at this.
What is it?
This is the corner where the lions were, isn't it?
What's that you picked up?
It's an old wallet of mine. There's a smell of hot grass on it. The smell of a lion. It's wet with saliva. And it's been chewed.
George, those smears of blood.
Come on out. Now let's go to bed.
So they went to bed. But in the middle of the night, Lydia was still awake, and she knew her husband was awake.
George. How did your wallet get in the nursery?
I don't know. Wendy must have changed the walls from the African Veldt. Honey, I'm going to keep it locked. Maybe it isn't good for the children.
It's supposed to help them work off their neuroses in a harmless way.
I'm starting to wonder.
We've given the children everything they wanted.
My father used to say children are like carpets. They should be stepped on occasionally. We've never lifted a hand. They're spoiled.
And we're spoiled.
I think I'll have Dr. McLean come tomorrow morning and have a look at Africa.
Yes, only it isn't Africa now. It's Florida and the yearling.
I have a feeling it'll be Africa again before then.
George, Wendy and Peter aren't in their room.
No. They've broken into the nursery.
They screamed. They sounded familiar.
Did they?
Yes, awfully. Oh, George.
Although their automatic Somno beds tried very hard, the two adults couldn't be rocked to sleep for another hour. A smell of cats was in the night air. And in the morning, the stove cooked French toast, and the dining room table poured the syrup and melted butter.
Pop,
Yes?
you aren't going to lock up the nursery for good, are you?
That all depends.
On what?
On you and your sister?
We feel that you should have some variety, dear.
If you intersperse this Africa with a little Sweden or China...
I thought we were free to play the way we like.
Well, you are within reasonable bounds.
Well, what's wrong with Africa, Daddy?
Oh, so now you admit you've been thinking of Africa,
I wouldn't want the nursery locked up ever.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're thinking of turning the whole house off for about a month. Sort of camping out.
You mean I have to tie my own shoes instead of having my shoe tire do it? And brush my own teeth and comb my own hair and give myself a bath?
Well, Wendy, it would be fun for a change, don't you think, dear?
No, it'd be awful. I didn't like it when you took out the picture painter last month.
Well, that's because I wanted you to learn to paint by yourself.
I don't want to do anything but look and listen and smell. What else is there to do?
Oh, all right. All right, go play in Africa.
Are you going to shut off the house?
We're considering it.
I don't think you better consider it anymore, Pop.
I won't have any threats from you, son.
Okay, Pop. Come on, Wendy. Let's get back.
After breakfast, Dr. David McLean was announced by the audio knocker. And the dining room table, recognizing him as an old friend, poured an extra cup of coffee, light with 4 lumps.
I saw the nursery last year, George. It looked all right to me.
You didn't notice anything unusual?
No. The pattern showed the usual violence, a tendency towards slight paranoia. All children feel persecuted by their parents. Perfectly normal.
I locked the nursery and they broke into it last night. I let them stay so they could form the patterns for you to see. There it is.
Well, suppose we take a look at it right now.
They entered without knocking and sent the children out. The screams had faded, and the lions were feeding quietly under the trees.
Wish I could see what they're eating. Do you suppose some high-powered binoculars would...
Hardly. No. How long has this been going on?
A little over a month.
It certainly doesn't feel good.
I don't want feelings. I want fact.
George, a psychologist, never saw a fact in his life. He knows about feelings, and this doesn't feel good. My advice to you is to have the whole room torn down and your children brought to me every day for the next year for treatment.
Is it that bad?
I'm afraid so. You know, that's why the nursery was developed originally, to let us examine the patterns left on the wall by a child's mind.
But what is it? What's wrong with Peter and Wendy?
Well, it's hard to say.
I haven't punished them more than average. Though I took away a few gadgets. Last week I locked the nursery to show I meant business.
George, you've let this room replace you and your wife and your children's affections. This room is their real father and mother. And now you come along and want to shut it. You can feel the hatred coming out of that sky. George, turn everything off. The nursery, the automatic kitchen, the whole confounded automatic house. Start now.
But won't the shock be too much for the children?
I don't want them going any deeper. Let's get out of here. I never liked these rooms. Get me nervous.
Those lions look real, don't they? I don't suppose there's any way that...
What?
That they could become real.
Certainly not.
Some flaw in the machinery, tamper.
No.
I don't imagine the room will like being turned on.
Nothing ever likes to die. Even a room.
I wonder if it hates me for turning it on.
Paranoia is thick today. Hello. Is this your scarf? It's stained. Brown. Say, that's blood.
That's Lydia's. Come on, the main fuse box is out here. Go ahead. Pull the switch.
Yeah. It's off. The 2 children were in hysterics. They screamed and kicked and threw things. They yelled and sobbed and swore and jumped on the furniture, weeping.
It's off and it stays off. The whole house dies as of now. The more I see of the mess we put ourselves in, the more it sickens me. We've been contemplating our electrical, mechanical navels for too long. We need air. Fresh, unfiltered, unconditioned air.
He marched around the house, cutting switches and pulling fuses. The stove was disconnected with a roast lamb in the oven and a flapjack still in the air. The heaters, the shoe shiners, the shoelacers, the body scrubbers and swabbers and massagers. He pulled the plugs and shorted out the controls, one after the other. The house became full of electronic corpses. It was a mechanical cemetery. So silent. None of the humming, hidden energy of the machines waiting to function at the tap of a button. And by the still dining room table, its radionic insides dead and currentless, Peter wailed at the house.
Don't let them do it. Don't let Pop kill everything. I hate you, Bob. I hate you.
Peter, please.
Insults won't get you anywhere.
I wish you were dead.
We were for a long while. Now we're going to start really living.
One more, Daddy. Just one more.
Oh, Wendy,
one
honey.
One minute of the nursery, that's all. Just one more minute.
George. George, it can't hurt, really.
Oh, all right. Only shut up. 1 minute. And that's the end. Forever.
Gee, thanks, Pop. Thanks.
Then we're going on a vacation. Dr. McLean is coming in a half hour to help us out. Lydia, turn on the nursery.
Now, remember, kids, it'll be just for 1 minute.
Oh, boy. Come on, Wendy. Come on. Oh, thanks, Daddy. Thanks a lot.
Just 1 minute, remember. Oh, where'd I put those suitcases? Lydia!
Don't shout, George. I'm right here.
Oh, did you leave them alone in the nursery?
Well, I've got to get ready, George. Oh, that awful Africa. What can they see in it?
Well, in an hour, we'll be on our way to Iowa. What prompted us to buy a nightmare like that?
Pride, I guess. We had the money and we were foolish.
I guess we'd better get them out of there before they get involved with those beasts again. Come on, quick.
Wendy, Peter, what's the matter?
Hurry up. Open the nursery. Wendy, Peter.
Well, they aren't anywhere. Wendy! Peter!
Oh. The door. Open the door. They've locked it from the outside. Peter, open up. Peter!
Don't let them turn off the nursery.
Now, don't get ridiculous, children. It's time to go.
Wendy, open the door, dear.
Let us out. Peter, open the door. Time to go. Open the door.
George, the lions.
Peter, do you hear me? Open this door.
They're all around us. George!
Son, do you hear me? Let us out.
George, look out. They're coming.
When Dr. David McLean came a half hour later, he found the two children in the nursery sitting in the center of the open glade, eating a picnic lunch. Beyond them was the water hole in the yellow Veldt land. Above was the hot sun. Dr. McLean saw at a distance the lions fighting and clawing, and then settling down to feed in silence under the shady trees.
Hi, kids. Where are your mom and dad?
Oh, they'll be here directly.
Good. We've got to get going.
He squinted at the lions with his hands up to his eyes. Now they were done feeding. They moved to the water hole to drink. A shadow flickered as the vultures dropped down from the blazing sky to finish what the lions had left.
Dr. McLean.
Huh? What?
Have a cup of tea?
You've just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future. The world of Dimension X. How soon we actually build a spaceship to conquer the stars depends upon many factors, not the least of which is a man, the overwhelming desire to create such a ship, and the power to have it done. Next week we tell the story of such a man as Dimension X brings you Nelson Bond's The Vital Factor.
Dimension X is presented transcribed each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction. Today, Dimension X has presented The Veldt, written for radio by Ernest Kenoy from Ray Bradbury's The Illustrated Man. Included in the cast were Leslie Woods and Bill Quinn as the parents, Joan Laser and David Anderson as the children. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Albert Berman. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Fred Way.
Adventures in time and space, told in future tense. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of Astounding Science Fiction, bring you Dimension X. I doubt that anywhere on Earth there's a man or a woman or a child who doesn't know the name Wayne Crowder. I doubt whether there's a human being who hasn't at one time or another used one of the Crowder products, the can opener or the razor blade, or the patented tooth powder dispenser, or the Crowder improved slideless fastener. There's a fortune in such products, and Wayne Crowder was the man to squeeze that fortune out, penny by penny. And he did. And in the magazines which write about men of business, he was described as a man of ice and stone and ink and steel. No warmth, but a heart that pumped blood, not feel human emotion. But he took some of his money and he built himself a towering skyscraper. And he placed his private office at the very peak. And he built a battery of buttons into his desk so that when he wanted something, all he ever had to do was press a button. And like genies springing out of the bottle, the proper personnel would come running.
Yes, Mr. Crowder.
Got me my engineers.
Yes, sir. Right away, Mr. Crowder. Mr. Crowder wants his engineers at once. Here are your engineers, sir.
All right, close the door and get out. Now, gentlemen, sit down. Gentlemen, I hired you because you're the best engineers I was able to find. They tell me you can do anything. They tell me if there's a scientific fact known in the world, even if it was discovered 6 hours ago, you gentlemen are up on it. All right, I want to put that to work. Gentlemen, I want you to build me a spaceship.
What? A spaceship, sir?
That's right. I've decided that I'm going to be the man who gives space flight to mankind. Any questions?
Well, I don't know, sir. We can design such a ship. That part's not too hard. The basic blueprint has been in existence for many years. The submarine is the model for the shape and the form, but...
Yes?
But we have no way of providing the motor to power such a ship.
When the ship's ready to fly, there'll be a motor.
Sir, I don't like to contradict you, but you see, scientists have been searching for a motor power for spaceships for decades now without success. You'll have a ship, but we can't lift that ship from the Earth's surface. That is, not to the point of free flight at any rate.
Mr. Crowder, you see, you'll be spending millions of dollars, hundreds of millions perhaps, for nothing.
What's your name?
Phillips, sir.
You're fired.
What?
Go down to the cashier and draw your pay and get out.
But, Mr. Crowder...
Get out. Nobody who works for me thinks of how much something costs. We use money. We don't let expense provide a rationalization for not beginning a project. Phillips, what are you waiting for? Get out. Gentlemen, any other comments?
The ship will be built, of course, Mr. Crowder. But the fact still remains. We can't power it.
You design the ship. I'll find the motor for you.
Where, sir?
That's a fair question. The answer is, I don't know. But somewhere in the world, there's a man who does know the secret. Long before Henry Ford, there was Leonardo da Vinci. And long before him, there was Archimedes. And long before him, there was some Stone Age genius who invented the wheel when the only thing the mob could conceive was dragging things around on their backs. I want that motor. And I'll root out the man who has the theory which will let us build it. I'll find him. Money will be available to him, an organization, my backing, and we'll get what we want.
You're going to be plagued with a host of crackpots, sir.
Obviously. So it's going to be your job to separate the wheat from the chaff. But anyone who shows up with a promising idea, no matter how fantastic it sounds, is going to have a chance to show what it can do.
How quickly do you want this done, sir?
Yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Anything you need.
Well, Mr. Crowder, we'll need construction yards, sir, and certain machinery, and a great many materials, of course. A labor force.
Get them. Send me the bills. I don't want to be bothered with minor details.
Yes, sir. One more thing, sir. Phillips, sir.
Yes?
We need him, sir. He's a top man on electronics. He's a vital cog in our team.
I don't want Phillips working for me. That's clear, I hope. Who else in the country knows what he does?
Not one in this country, sir. There's a man in Asia, though.
Get him.
We've tried before, Mr. Crowder. He's working on an important project for his country.
I'm not concerned with details. Now get that man, pay him what he wants, but get him.
Sir, you don't understand.
I understand, man.
If this man quits his job, that whole project will collapse. It means the welfare of many people, millions of people in his country. And he has a high sense of patriotism.
By that sense of patriotism. Now, that's all. I don't want to see you again until you have a report of work in progress.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Crowder.
There's a man named Phillips going to draw his pay. I want 2 company policemen to meet him at the cashier's office and escort him from there directly off the premises, and I want them to be emphatic about it.
Yes, Mr. Crowder.
And notify the newspapers, the television, and the radio networks, periodicals, and the scientific journals that I'll receive the press in my office this afternoon at 3:30. I have an important announcement to make. Gentlemen, you can finish your drinks later. Gentlemen of the press and ladies, it's my pleasure to be able to tell you that I'm in the process of constructing a spaceship. Any questions?
Did you say a spaceship?
That's right.
That's what I thought you said. I knew the drinks weren't that strong.
I expected it might be something of a shock to you all.
Mr. Crowder, is this spaceship under construction now?
It is.
Well, according to your plans, is it intended for interstellar flight or merely for flight between planets?
This is a beginning only, and my intentions are quite modest. I expect the ship to be able to pursue a course between Earth and Mars or between Earth and Venus. For the present, any longer trips are not contemplated.
You've solved the problem of motor force, then?
No, I haven't.
But what sort of... You mean you don't have any means of propulsion for the spaceship?
That problem is not solved as yet. It will be. That's why I called you in this afternoon. I want you to announce that I have $100,000 in cash waiting for the man or woman who first brings me the basic idea for such a motor. That's all I have to say for now. Finish your refreshments, ladies and gentlemen. I'll let you know from time to time how things go.
Mr. Crowder, one more question, please.
Yes.
Do you have a name for the spaceship yet?
No, not yet.
Then let me suggest one.
Yeah?
Crowder's Folly.
Quiet, all of you. Quiet! What is your paper?
The Daily Times, sir.
Inform the company police that under no circumstances is any representative of the Daily Times ever to be allowed on company property again.
Wayne Crowder is offering $100,000 to any inventor who can produce an engine capable of driving a spaceship.
Wayne Crowder is offering $100,000 to any in Veldt who can produce
an engine capable of driving a spaceship. It was Crowder's folly, but the word of what he wanted circulated to the far corners of the globe, and it was known in the white ice block huts of the Eskimos and in the grass-thatched villages of Central Africa, as well as places less remote. And the Crowder office became the mecca and the heaven for the lunatic fringe of humanity. Their blueprints and scale models clogged its corridors, and more applicants came to the great skyscraper.
I told you, don't want these people in my office till they're screened. Now, get out! Get out! Every time I open that door, they surge in like a tidal wave.
I have a progress report for you, sir, on the construction of the ship.
Go ahead.
I've spent $13 million for the yards, the equipment, including 3 gantry cranes, several dozen presses, thousands of dies, and so forth.
Go on.
We have 12,000 people working for us directly, not including subcontractors and their labor force.
Well, what about the ship?
Mr. Crowder, the ship is finished as far as we can go. Certain additional construction cannot be done now because it depends on the shape and the mass of the engine, on the type of fuel, on the weight of that fuel.
I see. All right, lay off everybody we don't need.
I've ordered that, sir. Miss Crowder, is it possible that no one will turn up with a motor?
That's the one thing that's not possible. He will come. Money and determination will buy anything. Now close the door on your way out.
Yes.
Order the proper department to put a name on the forward end of the ship. I want letters in pure gold 1 foot high. The name of the ship is Crowder's Folly. Get it done today.
The sun rose in the morning and glinted rose on the silver sheen of the hollow ship's skin. The sun set at night and glinted rose on the silver sheen of the hollow ship's skin. The golden letters on the prow held out the fury of Crowder for the world to see. A staff of 50 was employed as time went on in taking rust-preventive measures to ensure the ship's well-being. In a year, the first experiment seemed ready to bear fruit, and a test was held. The atomic fission motor.
In exactly 45 seconds now, we'll hold the test, Mr. Crowder. The actual trial of the motor is taking place 3 miles from here. Now, this dial here registers the nucleonic activity. And this dial right here is thrust. Over here, this dial is a measure of the effectiveness of the shielding in terms of outside radioactivity. That sound you hear is our generators right here, building up power to supply the motor by remote control. Now, if this needle goes around to the part of the dial marked in red, there will be an explosion. Are there any questions, sir?
Proceed with the test.
Watch the needle, sir. 8,000. 8,500. 9,000. 10. 11. 12. 15. That's an overload now, sir. 18. 20. I don't know how much more it can stand, sir.
What happened? Your generator blew out. What kind of...
I beg your pardon, sir. The motor blew up.
What are you talking about? I'd hear, sir.
You see, sir, it takes a while for the vibrations of an explosion to travel 3 miles and then reach through 15 feet of concrete.
I see. Well, there are other experiments in progress. Let me know when they're ready for testing.
Yes, sir. Mr. Crowder, the inventor of that motor had to be with it, of course, during the tests, but he has, that is, he had a family.
The fool knew what he was doing. He understood the danger. Now line up those experiments and don't turn anyone away if he seems to have the remotest possibility of success. Now, I'm telling you, my man will come. Money and determination will buy anything.
enough, Crowder was right. Because one day there came to his office a stranger, a small man. He looked even smaller in that tremendous room. He was an unusual visitor in that he carried no briefcase fat with blueprints, schematics, or formulae. He was unusual in that he neither blustered, cowered, nor deferred to his host. He was a pleasant little stranger, bird-like of eye and movement, bright and smiling.
Mr. Crowder, my name is Wilkins. I can power that ship you want.
So?
Of course, what I have in mind won't be anything like that meaningless fuel.
What?
Well, rocket. My motor requires a different here in my head.
It so happens that I'm presently supporting half a dozen people who make the ship. None of them have been successful. What makes you think your idea will work?
Simple enough. The common magnet.
What?
Electromagnetism. Utilization of the force of gravity, or its opposite in this case, countergravity.
Thank you very much. If you'll forgive me now.
Just a moment, Mr. Crowder. There's one thing more. This.
I've seen pieces of metal before, thank you.
How high from your desk would you say I'm holding it?
I'm very sorry, Mr. Wilkins. Do you want to leave or do you want to be escorted out?
This will only take a second, sir. How high from your desk would you say I'm holding this piece of metal?
A foot and a half.
And if I let go, then in less than a second, a fraction of a second, it should fall to your desk.
Now, look, I don't want the surface of that desk marred.
But will it be? You see, I have let go of the metal, is that right?
What? Good Lord.
Many seconds ago, it should have crashed to the desk, am I right?
This is incredible.
Well, if you want to speak to me anymore, I'll be right outside.
But it hasn't fallen.
That's right, sir. It hasn't fallen.
It floats in the air.
That's right, sir. It floats in the air.
How do you do it?
Well, why don't you call your engineers and ask them? I'll wait outside.
Get me my engineers immediately. Mr. Wilkins, you're quite right. This piece of metal is apparently counter-gravity. My engineers can give me no explanation.
Thank you, sir.
What do you want?
I want to build a spaceship using this material. No great expenditure, 1/100th of the cost your behemoth sitting out there in your building yard, and 3 other things. Workshop, expert mechanical assistance, and an answer to one question.
What is the question?
Why do you want so much to build this ship?
Frankly, because I love power. Because I'm ambitious. I want to be the master, not only of one world, but of worlds.
That's an honest answer. And that's as far as your thinking goes.
What else is there?
But there's my answer. I want to leave this planet and go to Mars. Because there are strange wonders there. Because there will be scarlet sunsets over barren wastes. And in the star-strewn night, the thin, cold air of a dying world stirring in restless sighs across the valleys of the dry canals. You may laugh out loud if you wish, Mr. Crowder. I prefer that to the peculiar repressed smile you're exhibiting now.
You're a very lucky man, Mr. Wilkins, to have scientific talent, because your talents as a poet are inferior and very sentimental. Well, all right, you're a sentimentalist and I'm manologic. No matter, we can work together, you and I. Your workshop will be ready by morning. If you need money or materials or personnel, just tell my engineers, and you'll get it, or I'll know the reason why, and that's all.
Thank you, sir.
Get me my engineers.
Yes, Mr. Crowder.
Now, We have 50 men working on preserving that useless hulk out there in the construction yards. Lay them off. Now, how many others?
But the ship will deteriorate if we do that, sir.
Let it rot. Lay them off.
Yes.
Now, how many other employees are still working for us on the project?
About 3,000, sir, including the people working on experimental motors.
Get rid of them.
But, sir...
Get rid of them.
Well, Mr. Crowder, I never thought you'd drop this project. You were so adamant on it.
I'm not dropping anything but dead wood. Well, you saw what Wilkins had to offer. He's my man, and the rest is junk.
Mr. Crowder, he might fail. We ought to have a minimum of protection against...
I say he won't fail.
Yes.
You just lay everybody off that isn't needed. Give him 2 weeks' pay and my thanks for a thankless job well done, that's all.
Yes, sir. I'll get it done, sir. What a year's work.
Yes, and 10 years or 20 years, now do the same thing. That's why you're an engineer and I'm an executive. That's why you work for me, because when I have to, I can be ruthless with my own mistakes. What are you waiting for?
I was just thinking, Mr. Crowder, what would happen to me if my usefulness to you were over? I've worked for you for 30 years now.
Just don't give me any occasion to consider your usefulness terminated. That oughtn't be too hard.
Yes.
What?
Nothing, sir. I'll make the arrangements at once.
Who are you? What do you want?
I tried to stop him, sir.
Well, speak up, man.
My name is Jarvis. I am an electronics expert.
Oh, yes, I remember. You're the Asian. Well, come in.
Do you want me, sir?
Never mind. Just stay outside. Close the door behind you.
Yes, sir.
Sit down, Vizushtuli.
Thank you, no. I want to give you a gift before I leave.
Oh, you leaving? I thought we still needed you.
I resigned.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm told you're a good man.
I want you to understand what's behind this gift. I was working on a power project in my country which would have meant a tremendous rise in the standard of living for millions of my people. I was unable to resist the money you offered.
Had you resisted, even more money would have been forthcoming. I placed no limit on your worth to me.
I understand. But you see, I did not come without a sense of guilt, because there was no one in my country who could take my place.
I would assume that.
And now I discovered that what I did was for nothing. The spaceship on which I worked is being dismantled.
That's right.
So I have been corrupted by you at a whim. I think you have too much power, sir. I think you use your power for evil, selfish purposes.
Selfish, yes. Only sentimentality is evil.
I think otherwise. And so, in order that you shall not corrupt anyone else, I have this gift for you. Here you are, sir.
Oh.
And just one more shot for good measure, to make sure you are really dead. Good.
There's a man on his way out by the name of Jarvis Zushtuli, an engineer. He's not to be molested. He probably won't stop at the cashier, so I want a check for 6 months' salary in advance mailed to his home address. The man showed a certain quality of ruthlessness which is deserving of recognition. And have the chief of the company police bring me a new bulletproof vest. This one seems to have been dented in 2 places.
According to Wilkins' plans, as executed by Crowder's engineers, was finished within 4 months. It was small. It was shaped like a disc. It gleamed brightly, even in the smoky haze of an October sunset. Inside, Crowder and Mr. Wilkins, in a small cubicle at the heart of the machine, were surrounded by many instruments of a complicated nature. Outside, huge crowds gathered to witness the test. They stirred and murmured, waiting restlessly, as inside the control room of the craft, Wilkins installed the final secret part he had not revealed to those who built his driving apparatus.
Wilkins, what's holding us up?
Nothing now. Or sentiment, perhaps.
What?
A wish to look once more on Earth's familiar scenes. Here, now the screening is removed. Look at the people out there.
Never mind looking out there. Let's leave that thing closed. You're a sentimental fool. Or are you afraid? Or did you decide at that last minute that your invention won't work?
It will work. Oh, sit down, Mr. Crowder. Do me a favor. When I press this button, will you please press the button on the arm of the chair you're seated on? I'll tell you when.
Turn on your motor. I want to hear its roar and feel its tug as we cut loose from Earth's gravity and fly outward into space. That might be a moment in which I'd share your sentimentality.
Press your button now, sir. Thank you.
This is all hoax. I'm beginning to distrust you, Wilkins. When are we going to take off? You said at 5 sharp, and it's 2 minutes after 5 now. Well, do we move or don't we?
Mr. Crowder, we're already moving. The button you pushed was to nullify the effects of acceleration. If you don't mind, I'd like to open the screen again. Now, if you care to look for yourself.
Wilkins, we're in space. Look down at Earth. How far we've come. What? It's no bigger than a toy balloon. A dime. A firefly. Man, Wilkins, you've done it.
Yes.
I swore to be the first man to conquer space, and I've done it. It's a triumph of power and ambition.
And sentiment.
No, blast sentiment. Your mortal and dreaming would have died unborn except for me. I made this possible, Wilkins. Don't ever forget that. My capital, my forcefulness, my will. Look out there. Space. Stars that never were seen from Earth. But this is only the beginning. We'll build a larger model, one great enough to hold 100 men, 1,000, and cargo besides. I'm the master of the planets. Wilkins, turn back now.
No.
What? I said turn back.
No.
We've proved the ship can fly. Now turn back. I want to start work at once in preparation for the long flights to come.
So, we will go on.
What are you doing, defying me? Are you crazy? I'll break your puny little body into pieces.
Mr. Crowder, can you control this ship? Would you like to be stranded out here in space? Just adrift in space without control? Would you like that?
Turn back.
No.
You're crazy.
Crazy? No. Sentimental? Yes. Your money and ambition paved the way, that's true. But sentiment was the vital factor that sent me to you. You'll forgive me if I remove these primitive clothes.
Who are you?
Well, it's all right, Mr. Crowder. There is no need to be so terrified because you've had your first close look at a Martian going home.
You've just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future. The world of... A private detective receives many strange assignments, but none has ever received one quite like that given to the investigator we're going to tell you about next week, as we bring you from the pages of the September issue of Astounding Science Fiction, Untitled Story.
Dimension X is presented each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction. Today, Dimension X has presented The Vital Factor, written for radio by Howard Rodman from the story by Nelson Bond. Featured in the cast were Raymond Edward Johnson as Crowder, John McGovern as the engineer, and Louis Van Ruten as the Martian. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Albert Berman. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Fred Way.
Dragnet, the story of your police force, is next on NBC.
The magic island of Euclidia is rising from the sea. Not so long ago, the Euclideans submerged the island, taking it down to the bottom of the old volcanic crater and making everyone believe it had been destroyed. Now the island is coming out of the water again. This brings a very real danger to Captain Tex Bradford and Elaine Raleigh, who are attempting to imprison the Euclideans in their underwater city. When the island is above water, G-47 and his men will have more openings for escape than Tex and Elaine can watch.
How's it look to you now, Elaine?
The island is rising very slowly, but the tops of the defense chambers are showing above water.
At that rate, we'll have a couple of minutes to work in.
And what can we accomplish?
I'm not any too sure, but we've got to do our best to keep those fellows from getting loose.
You have only one charge of your solvent left. Is that correct?
That's right. Only one.
Then that may be used to guard only one exit. And when that island is above water, there are at least 8 openings through which the Euclideans may escape.
Oh, I know it, but we'll have to run a bluff of some kind.
I do not understand fully what you mean by bluffing. But this is the time to be sure what you are doing.
Yes, if you can be sure, but when you can't, bluff.
Then bluff quickly. The island is rising.
Have we got enough compressed air to taxi us around to the other side of the island?
I think not.
It's our only hope.
I will try to cross the island. That is much shorter.
Well, sure it is. But if the island comes up before we get across, what then?
Our position will be no worse than it is now.
You're right, Elaine. All right, give it all you've got.
The jets are wide open. The air supply is diminishing very rapidly.
We're getting across the island, too. Hey, look out.
I will not strike that defense chamber.
Can't open the doors and those things until the island is completely above water, can they?
Not without flooding the entire lower level of the island.
Good. Now, when we get to the other side, say, we're scraping on the surface down.
It will be a very narrow margin, Captain, but I believe we will be over the side of the island before we are held by touching it.
Let's hope you're right. We made it.
So I believe.
Now cut your rudders or on hard. We've got to get right back beside that elevator housing before we lose headway.
It will take only a few seconds to complete our circle.
Things coming out of the water mighty fast now.
What is your plan, Captain?
Well, now look, we'll want to stand by as near the elevator housing as possible. Near enough that I can reach out and break those bottles of solvent against the elevator door.
I see. Then that will allow your solvent to eat down through the surface of the island, and the ocean will flood into that elevator shaft.
Right. And if I remember the layout of this island, they can't shut off that water before it reaches the power rooms and puts the whole island out of commission.
That is correct, Captain. Water going into this shaft will flood the entire island, forcing anyone within it to take refuge in the main city of Euclidia.
That's what we're going to try to do, Elaine. And that's our only chance. When one of those doors opens, we'll warn whoever comes out that if they attack us or attempt to advance towards us, I'll break these bottles over the elevator housing, and the solvent will eat its way into the island in 5 seconds.
An excellent plan, Captain. With the Euclideans driven back into the main city, we will have only the surface airlock to watch.
Right, and we're going to have to do something pretty soon. Looks as if that island is about on top.
It is now in position. Any moment we may expect to see a door open in one of the surface chambers.
Well, I'll hold on to the side of this pier with one hand and hold the solvent in the other.
Is there no way in which I could help you, Captain?
Afraid not. There's not much room in these little doorways.
Look, the central control chamber.
Yeah, the door is opening.
One of the Euclideans is coming out on the surface.
Well, I'll stop that. That's all for you. Don't come any nearer.
And what will you do if I advance upon you?
I'll break these bottles of my solvent against this elevator housing. I'll flood your island.
That would be very foolish, Captain Bradford.
Well, that's what I'll do.
Try to find out what Thales has in mind.
Suppose I break this bottle now. What will you do?
Do you not see the large ray gun protruding through the wall of this chamber at my side?
I'm not afraid of your ray guns. You ought to know that those rays won't penetrate one of your own boats.
This ray will. We will use the metallic ray on you.
What's the metallic ray, Elaine?
It will melt the metal of this plane as if it were wax.
Well, Thales, looks just like we stand here and look at each other for a while.
You will lower your solvent carefully into the water and release it.
I will not.
Then we will turn the ray on your plane.
Go to it. And when you do, I'll break those bottles on the elevator shaft. If we sink, we'll take this island with us.
It will mean your life.
And without us on the surface to open these locks for you, it would mean the life of everyone on Euclidia.
Thales seems to be uncertain.
I thought that might stop him for a minute.
Yes. He's going inside the chamber and closing the door.
That gives us a little breathing spell.
Your position is most uncomfortable, leaning far out the door with your arms extended.
Well, my arms are getting a little numb.
Why not use this respite to relax for a moment? Place the solvent on the floor of the plane.
Afraid to. I'll bet you they're watching us right now. And the minute I take my arms in, they'll blow this plane to pieces with a metal ray.
Yes, that is quite likely. However, you cannot maintain that position indefinitely.
Maybe not, but I can get out into the water and hold these things here a long time. Then when I get tired, you can get out and hold them.
Even so, that will give us only a few hours. It is well after noon now. In a few hours, it will be dark. Then the Euclideans can attack us easily.
I know it, but I want those few hours. Now, if you'll hang onto that arm so I don't bump those bottles against the island, I'll slip out into the water.
Very well, Captain.
Easy now. Don't bump those things together.
I will be careful.
There we are. Now I'll keep floating here where I can support myself on the plane. We'll hold out until night at least.
Patricia Gregory, calling the plane. Gregory Boat to Captain Bradford. Hello, Tex. Hello, Tex. Can you hear me?
Gee, Mrs. Gregory, you can't raise them at all now.
No, Jerry. I can't raise them at all.
Well, Joan and I went in and tried that little portable set in the captain's cabin. We thought maybe this set wasn't working just right.
Yes. I know what you and Joan did, Jerry. And even though it didn't fool me, thanks a lot for a grand gesture.
Huh?
Now, Jerry.
Honest, I don't know what you're talking about, Mrs. Gregory.
You don't remember having Joan use that portable transmitter, call me here, pretend to be Elaine, and tell me that all was well?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we didn't do so well.
It wasn't your fault, Jerry. Joan couldn't conceal the Euclidean training in her voice. Elaine has moved more often in the world, and she speaks as we do, with very little effort.
Yeah, I should have thought of that.
We all could have thought of a lot of things, Jerry. And like yourself, we thought of them too late.
Oh, now, Mrs. Gregory.
I know what you're going to say, Jerry. And it's fine of you not to blame me for this. But after all, I started the whole thing, looking for Joan. And I gave my permission for Tex and Elaine to attempt this wild flight.
But gee, Mrs. Gregory, we don't know for sure that anything's happened to them.
Possibly not. But it's nearly dinner time. And in a few minutes it'll be dark. And we haven't had a word from them since early morning.
They said the island was being raised again.
And that would mean Tex and Elaine captured. Or worse.
Well, they wouldn't hurt Tex any more than they'd hurt any of us.
But this time it's different, Jerry. They'll have Tex's formula. There won't be any further reason for them to treat us kindly.
Well, quit worrying about it for a little while.
I'm sorry, Jerry. But I can't take it as calmly as you do.
Well, that's what I mean. Be calm, like me.
You don't realize that you've twisted all the buttons off your shirt.
Huh? Well, how did I do that?
Oh, just sitting there calmly, twisting the buttons.
Yeah? Well, I'm not doing any better than you are.
Have you received any word as yet?
Come in and close the door, Joan, dear.
Yes, Mother. You look very worried. What has happened?
Nothing. Plenty of it.
That's just the trouble, Joan. Nothing has happened.
What have you been doing?
I have been in the pilot house with Mr. Johnson. He says we have made unusually good time.
Good time?
It seems to me that we've been crawling.
I do not understand just what has happened. But Mr. McLeod, the engineer, who has done something to the motors. And we have been going much faster than is safe for this boat.
Good old man.
Yeah, the boat holds together.
The motors are making a terrible noise, and I suppose it isn't doing the boat any good. But if we can arrive there by noon tomorrow, well, we may be in time to do some good.
Mr. Johnson says we will arrive at the position of Euclidia at daylight.
Daylight?
Why, Joan, that isn't possible.
I thought not, but we are within a few hours' run of the island.
Oh, if Tex could only know that. It's getting dark, and they'll be in some terrible position there with darkness coming on. And Tex will be figuring that we're 18 hours away.
Daylight's only 12 hours away.
Mr. Johnson said we would arrive in 12 to 13 hours.
Those 6 hours would mean a lot to Tex, if he's waiting for us.
If he's waiting for us, you know he's waiting for us.
No, Jerry. I can only hope that he's still waiting.
Now, Mother, that feeling will not help.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're both so cheerful, and it all seems so hopeless.
We could try him again on the radio if you want to.
Yes, Mother, we will try again.
Very well. But we've been trying for hours.
Well, maybe they're just too busy to answer us, or maybe their radio's too weak, or maybe they've gone onto the island to capture it.
Or maybe a great many other things.
But you don't believe it any more than I do.
Oh, all right. I'm scared about what's happened to them, but let's try the radio anyway.
We may as well. Patricia Gregory to Captain Bradford. Gregory boat calling Bradford. Hello, Tex. Pat calling. Hello, Tex. Can you hear me? We are within 12 hours of you. Can you hear me? We will be there in 12 hours. Hello, Tex. Hello, Tex. Oh, it's no good.
Sure doesn't seem to be, but... Well, let's keep the receiver open anyhow.
Oh, do as you like, Terry. I'm going out and walk around the deck.
Do you wish me to come with you, Mother?
No, Joan, dear. I want to walk quietly, all alone. I'll feel nearer to Tex. Outdoors. He's outdoors, too.
Gee, Joan. Your mother's sure down in the dumps, isn't she?
I do not understand down in the dumps, Jerry.
I mean, she's feeling bad.
Oh, Mother is very hopeless.
Well, I feel the same way. But I thought if we acted cheerful, it might make it a little easier for her.
Our radio message from the other cabin did not deceive her, did it?
Not for a minute.
I thought it would not.
If only we knew what Tex was going
Jerry,
to do.
the radio pilot.
Standing. Island. Guard. Sinking. Hurry. Few hours. Will sink. Gregory. Hurry. Bradford. Sinking. Hurry.
Oh, Jerry, that was Elaine.
Yeah, and she and the captain are in trouble.
Serious trouble. They are sinking.
Maybe they meant the island.
No, Jerry, their plane is sinking. Elaine said hurry.
Well, look here, Joan. No matter what happens, don't tell your mother.
But, Jerry, she...
No, Joan, not a word to her. We'll tell Johnson, the skipper, and the engineer, and they'll break this boat trying to get up to there. But it won't help her to worry your mother anymore. And maybe we'll be in time. Elaine said sinking. She didn't say sunk. And there's plenty of hope for some good luck between sinking and sunk.
The last time we heard from the Magic Island, Captain Bradford and Elaine were reported sinking. Jerry and Joan received the message in the radio cabin on the rescue boat. And as Mrs. Gregory was out walking on the deck at the time, she doesn't know of this new development. Elaine and the captain have been waiting near one of the elevators on the edge of the Magic Island, sitting in their helpless rocket plane, floating on the water. The Euclideans threaten to attack them, and Captain Bradford slips off into the water, where he's holding the 2 bottles containing his universal solvent against the side of the island. Elaine is getting out of the sinking plane.
Get out here quick, Elaine. That thing's going down with you.
I'm nearly free from the plane.
That metal ray of theirs sure wrecked that shell.
I will try to save this small rubber boat.
And we'll need it.
Yes. We may have to float for hours.
When daylight comes and we're found floating here, it won't take G47 long to dispose of us.
I do not propose to be found floating here.
We can't be far away.
Perhaps not. The island will be gone, and G47 will be no threat to us.
What do you mean?
It has been completely dark for some time. I think it only reasonable to expect an attack from the Euclideans.
Yeah, I've been expecting it every minute.
If I'm only successful in inflating this bag from the small gas supply in the plane before it sinks.
Yes. It'd be pretty hard to blow that thing up and swim at the same time.
At least there is some little air.
How much will it take to inflate that boat?
Only a few pounds will inflate it sufficiently to support us for some hours.
We'll need some hours. About 18, I think.
The air pressure is growing weaker.
And the plane's sliding under. Here, better break that hose loose before the rubber raft gets carried down with the plane.
Right.
Here, put one hand on my shoulder and hang on tight. That plane will create some suction going down.
Not much. It's nearly full of water now. However, I will hold it to the island with you. I have the rubber boat.
Well, then, let the plane go. Well, there goes our plane.
I think the Euclideans are coming after us.
How can you tell in this darkness?
I saw a thin beam of light for an instant. Someone slipped out of the central control chamber.
And there's only one thing to do. Swim away from this island and take that rubber boat with you.
I understand. I am safely away.
Good. Now I'll break these bottles of solvent against the elevator housing.
Get away Quickly, Captain.
I'm coming.
Over this way, Captain Bradford.
I'll take the opposite side of the boat from you.
You did not get any of the solvent on you.
No chance. I was mighty careful about that.
How rapid will the action be on the island?
That stuff is eating through into the elevator housing by this time. I only hope the Euclideans discover it soon enough to get safely into their underwater city.
I feel that they will accomplish that. The automatic controls will begin to work in a few seconds.
Is there any way at all that they can keep the island above water?
No possible way. That island will have to be submerged to its foundation. Everyone in the island will have to flee for safety to the city. And it will take days, perhaps weeks, to raise the island and repair it.
If my solvent doesn't damage it beyond repair.
We may as well prepare for a long, wet night, Captain.
Yeah, it looks like it. If that's the worst that happens to us, we'll be all right.
Listen. The signal to submerge the island.
Yes. That means that all the Euclideans will be prisoners in their own city, while we're free.
We are free, Captain, that is true. But our position is not entirely happy.
Well, I had prospects I enjoyed more than floating around in this ocean all night.
If we are so fortunate as to float all night.
Why shouldn't we float all night? This boat will support us easy enough.
Yes, it was designed for that purpose, but it is apparently defective.
Defective?
The air is rapidly leaking out.
Where?
Around on this side.
No way to repair it?
None that I know of. I'm holding the leak closed with my hand as well as possible, but it is not perfect.
Wait a minute, I'll get around there and help you.
If we had something with which to tie a knot around this leak.
We have. Strings from those broken bottles are still tied to my wrist.
That will do nicely.
Now, if you'll squeeze some of the air out of a small section of the hole, I'll tie it up.
I'm doing so.
That's good. Now hold it tight. I'll try to knot this so it won't leak much.
A very little will support our weight for the night.
Right. There you are. I don't think that'll leak anymore. Even if it does, we can probably blow enough air into it to support us.
I'm very glad this boat is successful. I would not like to cause you trouble.
Cause me trouble? I wouldn't have any more trouble than you with swimming around here all night.
I've learned a great deal from you, Captain Bradford.
Well, we've learned a few things from you, too.
In a scientific way, perhaps. But from you I have learned that a man may accomplish a great deal if he does it quietly. On Euclidia, every accomplishment was loudly discussed.
We like to talk about what we do in our world, too. Now, Elaine, here, you get up on this raft.
Oh, but Captain...
Come on, up you go. One of us swimming at a time is enough. We've got a lot of hours ahead of us. There's no use in both of us paddling around in this water.
Calling Captain Bradford. Gregory Bolt to Captain Bradford. Patricia Gregory to Bradford.
It is no use, Mother. You may as well stop.
Yes, you're right, Joan. It's nearly daylight. Nearly 24 hours since we heard from them last.
And soon after daylight, we should reach their position.
And what will we find?
That we cannot know until we arrive.
Where's Jerry?
I am not sure. He has been all over the boat at various times. First helping Mr. McLeod with the motors, then relieving Mr. Johnson in the pilot house. Jerry has done much the last few hours, Mother.
I know that, Joan. Jerry's been wonderful. Everyone on board has done their best. And for what?
Mother, you must not look at things so hopelessly. Mr. Johnson says we will arrive at the position of Euclidia shortly after daylight. And the sky is gray now.
I'm older than you are, my dear. Johnson is a grand person, and he's trying to keep my spirits up. But I know too much about boats for that. We couldn't possibly have made sufficient speed to reach Euclidia before noon.
I feel that Mr. Johnson is sincere. And we will locate Elaine and the captain within the hour.
And why don't they use their radio?
They have been on the water, floating in that small rocket plane for 6 days. It is possible their batteries are too weak to reach us.
If we're as close as Johnson says, and if the plane was still afloat, it wouldn't take much of a radio to reach us. No, Joan. That plane is no longer afloat.
Mother, if you do not stop talking like that, I shall put you to bed. I shall indeed. Oh, and here is Jerry. Perhaps he has news.
Jerry, have you heard? Oh.
Nothing, Jerry?
I'm sorry.
Oh, it isn't your fault, Jerry.
I feel like it is. Kind of.
But how could it be, Jerry?
Oh, I don't know, but it seemed like with so many of us on this boat, we could have done something to help them. One of us should have had an idea.
That's how I feel, Jerry. As if we'd fallen down on the job somewhere.
You did try to launch the small plane last night.
Yeah, and cracked it up, getting it over the side.
That couldn't be helped. We didn't have time before sailing to equip the boat properly for dropping the plane.
Oh, I know. But I'll bet if Tex had been here, he could have done it.
Yes, Tex could have done it.
Are we not near Euclidia now?
Johnson said an hour just before I came in.
An hour is a lifetime right now.
Yeah, and an hour's too long if they haven't got anything to hang on to. Well, but maybe they have, huh?
Come with you, Skipper?
Aye. All of us?
Aye. Well, what's happened?
But where do you wish us to go, Skipper?
Board. The pilot house? Aye. Come on, Mrs. Gregory. I'll bet Johnson's got some news.
No, Jerry. Not yet.
Hurry, Mother.
Come up forward to the rail. All of you.
Well, what is it, Johnson?
I'm not sure if there's anything. The sky is getting lighter.
Yeah, you can begin to see the water around the boat.
Well, we'll all watch dead ahead.
You've seen something?
I thought so, Mrs. Gregory, but I wouldn't be sure.
What did you see?
I thought I saw a light. I turned on our searchlight then, but nothing since.
We'll turn the searchlight on again.
Well, the light from it is so great that it prevents our seeing a small light on the water far off.
Well, turn it on again, and then turn it off quick. Maybe they're looking for us.
Yes, Johnson.
Very well, Mrs. Gregory.
That is a powerful light.
Boy, it sure is.
Sweep the water with it, Johnson.
Right.
And everybody look hard at that water where the light hits.
I see nothing but water.
Just water.
Me too.
Well, this is the worst hour of the day for visibility. Not enough daylight to see clearly, and only dark enough for the searchlight to cast an indistinct glow.
Hey, turn off the light, quick.
What is it, Jerry?
I saw a light. Just a little tiny flare.
Are you sure of that?
Sure, I'm sure.
Where was it?
Almost dead ahead. Just a little off the port bow.
How far away?
Well, unless it was a mighty small light, like a match or a small flashlight, it was a long ways, maybe a mile.
Well, what do you think, Johnson?
I thought I saw the same thing before I called you out.
Well, are we making full speed?
More than that. We're tearing the boat to pieces.
Please change your course enough to meet that light.
Right, Mrs. Gregory.
Oh, Mother, we will find the captain and Elaine safe at last.
Sure we will.
Oh, don't be too sure. I've seen many things at sea that weren't what they seem to be.
Hold it, everybody. I saw that light again. Watch it. Again. Again. Now it's... Hey, it's on longer. There it is again. And again. Count these next ones.
1, 2, 3.
I thought so. Did you see it, Johnson?
3 shorts, 3 longs, 3 shorts.
That's what it looks like to me.
SOS.
I think so.
Then someone is in danger. I knew it.
Now take it easy, Mrs. Gregory. If they're able to send a signal, they're still all right.
But how can we answer them?
By switching the searchlight on and off. But it glows so long and heats so slowly that it isn't good for signals.
Tip it down here where I can reach it.
What can you do, Jerry?
Wait till I get off my coat and I'll show you. Turn it on, Johnson. Now I'll cover and uncover it with my coat. It won't make very good code, but if Tex Bradford is out there, he can read anything.
Hurry, Jerry.
Send OK, Jerry. It's shorter than anything else here.
Right. 1, 2, 3. There's the O. And there's is the K.
Well, that was clear enough.
Turn out the searchlight. Let's watch for them. There it is. There's the light again. Oh, we found them. That's Tex. I know it is.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Today, Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen view Mary Hennig's offer to help them with distrust. As terrified and conscience-stricken, the young girl seeks desperately to make amends.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. Say, you want to go prospecting for gold tomorrow morning? Well, then, just dig down on your breakfast bowl of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, and see how your spoon comes up loaded with golden, sunny flavor. Believe me, Pep's as good as gold when it comes to sharpening the edge of your morning appetite. Makes you want to hitch up your chair and settle down to the solid sort of breakfast that helps start your day in high. You know, Kellogg's Pep gives you solid whole wheat nourishment plus. And is this whole wheat flake cereal crisp? Is it tender? And does breakfast get the glad eye when Kellogg's Pep heads the menu? Why, your very first spoonful tastes so terrific, you'll want to keep right on until you've eaten up every flake of Kellogg's Pep in your bowl. After all, nobody wants to waste Pep. So pour it carefully and polish off every bit you pour out. That's particularly important nowadays, you know, because the cereal grains, like the whole wheat and Kellogg's Pep, have been picked out to help give good nourishment to fellows and girls all around the world. Keep that in mind when Mom brings Pep home from the grocer's. Tip off the rest of your family, too. Get the right habit, gang. Eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Now, the adventures of Superman. Victory over the evil forces behind a wave of juvenile delinquency was snatched from our friends on the Daily Planet by a 15-year-old tough named Mary Hennig, herself a juvenile delinquent trained in crime, who stole certain letters which exposed Martin Higgins, corrupt candidate for mayor, of association with criminal racketeers. Caught red-handed in the Planet office by Lois Lane, Mary lost her head and struck down the girl reporter with a heavy metal object. Then, when Jim Olsen came to look for Lois, he was knocked out by two thugs. And together, Lois and Jimmy were locked up in the cellar of a shabby tenement building owned by Al Vincent, trainer and brains of a band of youthful criminals, and a Higgins henchman. While Superman, worried by their disappearance, searched for his friends, they were visited in their basement prison by the young girl Tuff, who, frightened and conscience-stricken, wanted to help them escape. But before she could convince Jim and Lois of her sincerity, one of Vincent's men called to her from the floor above. As our story continues today, Lois, Jim, and Mary are standing in the darkness of the cellar. Mary is tense with terror. Listen.
That's Steve, one of Vincent's gorillas.
How does he know you're down here?
He doesn't. But if he finds me here, we're all sunk. Good heavens. What do we do?
Oh, relax, Miss Lane. I think this is just another one of Mary's tricks.
No, this ain't a trick. I swear it ain't.
Now, look,
You
Mary.
gotta listen to me. You gotta.
Chicky, you down here?
Chicky? Who's that?
That's me.
Holy smoke.
Hey, Chicky.
He's coming closer. We better get ready to do something in case he
Chicky,
gets
you
off.
little rat, if you're down here, you better talk up.
Look, Mary, you got something I can beat him with?
No, that won't help, Jim. It'll only bring the others. Listen, I got an idea. Bang on the door, Miss Lane. What?
Well, what good's that gonna do?
Quick, do like I say. Bang hard and holler like you want to get out of here. Go on.
If I find you down here, Chicky,
But I
you'll
don't
be
too late.
afraid.
No, it ain't. Look, I'll pound. You holler.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Go on, holler, please. Make out like you're locked in, both of you.
You out there. Unlock this door.
Yeah, let us out of here.
Open this door, I say.
You can't get away with this. Open up.
Shut up or I'll come in there and shut you.
Uh-oh.
It looks like this big boomerang, Mary. Cut it out now. I think maybe it worked good enough.
Hey, what's going on down there, Steve? Not only these reporters is getting kind of restless.
Who's he talking to?
Al Vincent.
No. We gotta find her. Take a look at them two down there, then come on up.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
They're okay, Al. Just a little mad, that's all. All right, come on up. Quick. Coming right now.
It worked. He's going away.
It was awful close.
Yes. That's too close for comfort. What do we do now? Gotta work fast. You see, Vincent's waiting for a phone call. As soon as he gets it, he's gonna take you two for a ride. Oh, no.
Oh, cut it out, Mary. That's a lot of baloney, and you know it. He wouldn't dare try anything
It's
like...
the truth, Jim, so help me.
Yeah? Like the pack of lies you told Miss Lane to get a job on the Planet, so you could tip off Al Vincent about Tony Sloan having the letters, huh?
Now, Jim, I couldn't help it.
Couldn't help it, my eye. Wouldn't have helped if Tony Sloan had been murdered.
I didn't know anything was going to happen to him.
No, huh? It's like you didn't know the Daily Planet was going to be put out of business by $1 million slander suit when you stole those letters.
But this is no time to argue. I tell you, I couldn't help what I'd done. I had to do it.
Applesauce.
That's enough, Jim. I know I got you into this jam, and now... Well, now I want to help you get out of it. You've got to believe me.
All right, Mary. I will believe you. What can we do?
Now, wait a minute, Miss Lane. How do we know she isn't going to lead us into more trouble?
We've got to trust her, Jim. Certainly we can't be any worse off than we are now, can we?
Well...
Look, I'm taking as much of a chance as you are. Because if I get caught... Well, that's all, brother.
For heaven's sake, let's stop talking and do something.
Okay. Follow me as quiet as you can through this doorway.
I'd still like to stake my chances on Mr. Kent and Inspector Henderson finding us.
Now stop acting like that, Jim.
Shh. Don't make any noise. Come on.
As Jim Olsen and Lois Lane, still unsure of Mary Hennig's honesty, cautiously follow the girl Tuff through the dark cellar in the hope of escape, Superman in his guise of Clark Kent is looking for them. Certain that their disappearance is tied up with Al Vincent, Kent has been vainly trying to find the crooked pawnbroker's unlisted address. Now, his head pulled down over his eyes, he is affecting the mannerism of a gangster and has just entered a pool room in the slum district where he questions the proprietor, Earl Lake.
What do you want with Al Vincent?
I gotta see him. Something important just came up, and I got the office to pass it on to Al.
Yeah? From who?
From the boss.
Who's the boss?
Hey, what is this? You know who I mean, Marty Higgins.
Yeah. How come Higgins didn't tell you where to find Vincent?
He said I go to the pawn shop, but it's closed. I called back Marty's house, but nobody answers. Now, look, Earl, I just gotta see Vincent. If I don't, and right away, it's gonna be too bad for Marty in the elections. And for you, too. Get that?
For me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Look, pal, you don't have to play games with me. I know about the string of pool rooms you own, and about the gambling rooms in the back, and about the kids you let in.
Now, wait a minute.
We know you need Marty's protection. Why else would you give him $15,000 to help him get elected mayor?
How'd you know?
Don't give me that routine. I tell you, I'm in the know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, how come you don't know where Vincent lives?
Because I work in Marty's downtown district. I don't have much to do with this district. Tonight something bad came up, and Marty told me to contact Al Vincent. Now, are you going to stall around all night and maybe ruin Marty's chances for mayor? Or do you tell me where Vincent lives?
Well, I guess I can tell you. Only I got to be careful, because Vincent don't like certain people to know where he lives.
All right, but I'm not just certain people. Come on, spill, and fast.
Okay. Vincent's place is an old broken-down brownstone at 1619 Hudson Street.
1619 Hudson, eh?
Yeah.
Thanks, pal. That's all I want to know.
Hey, listen. What's your name?
Tell you next time I see you. So long.
Hurrying from the pool room, Kent steps into a dark doorway. Quickly, he strips off his business suit, and a moment later stands revealed in the blue and red costume of Superman.
Something tells me there's no time to lose. So straight to 1619 Hudson Street.
Up, and away! Leaping high into the night sky, Superman streaks away toward Al Vincent's hideout, where, at this moment, the lives of Lois Lane and Jim Olsen are more than ever endangered. Will he arrive in time? We'll know more in a moment when we return for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, lots of times, daydreams that start with if don't pay off. Like, if I had $1 million and so forth. But, gang, here's an if that is no daydream. And it sure does pay off in good eating. It goes like this. If you'll have a black raspberry ringer tomorrow morning, you'll have a honey of a breakfast. That's this week's pep dish of the week, you know. Black raspberry ringer. And it's a nifty way to give a new twist to your morning dish of Kellogg's Pep. Try it. First, pour out your regular serving of Pep, the Sunshine cereal. Then, on top, arrange a ring of black raspberries around the edge of your bowl. A neat sight to see and a thriller to taste. Pep's sparkling Sunshine flavor sure does rise and shine. And how Pep's crisp tenderness does team up with those juicy berries. How Kellogg's Pep does tease you into finishing off every bit in your bowl. And what a good thing that is. Sure, because the cereal grains have been picked out to help give good nourishment to fellows and girls overseas. So, gang, when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make yourself a committee of one to help guard against waste. Handle the package carefully if you pour your own Pep. And eat up every bit you pour out. Always remember, eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
While Superman in his guise of Clark Kent was posing as a gangster to learn the address of Al Vincent's hideout, Lois Lane and Jim Olsen were blindly following Mary Hennig through a dark basement. As we rejoin them now, still not sure the girl tough is to be trusted, they inch quietly across the damp concrete floor in response to her whispered urging.
Come on. Hurry, please.
Where are we going?
To the coal bin.
The coal bin?
Yeah. There's an iron cover set in the hole in the sidewalk for the coal to be dropped through. If we can open that...
Fat chance.
You got a better idea, Jim?
Oh, no,
Well, then be quiet. That has got to work. Watch you don't slip on the loose coal here. Okay, hold it. Wait till I light this flashlight. Now, there's the coal hedge up there. You see?
Uh-huh. Like a small manhole.
Yeah, but it's big enough for us to slip through. Now, you boost me up, Jim. I'll open it and get out. Then you can boost Miss Lane and I'll help her.
Nothing doing. I'm not taking any chances of you running out on us.
But I told
you and
you.
Miss Lane together can boost me up. Lock your hands together and make a stir.
Now, look here, Jim.
Do like I say, Miss Lane, please.
Oh, all right. Come on, Mary, give me your hand. Okay. There, now, how's that?
Fine. Steady now. Here I go.
Can you reach it?
Yeah. Have it open in a jiffy.
Hurry, Jim. Yes, hurry. My arms are breaking.
Just another second. Here it comes.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, look out.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. My hands slipped. Quiet. Gosh. Don't listen. They heard us upstairs. Quick, up on your feet.
Okay.
Are you hurt?
No. Quick, Mary. Let me boost you up. Then you help Miss Lane from up there.
But you said...
Never mind what I said. I've got to trust you now. Here, put your foot in my hands.
Okay. Two men at the head of the stairs. Lights. They see us.
There they are, Al, in the coal pit. Don't move. Any one of you. Or I'll shoot to kill.
Trapped, Jim Olsen, Lois Lane, and Mary Hennig can do nothing but stand and wait helplessly for Al Vincent and his henchmen, both of whom approach with drawn guns. Will Superman, still unaware of the seriousness of their position, arrive before the enraged gangsters take drastic and final action? We'll know more tomorrow when we see how the Man of Steel matches wits and power with the vicious politicians who seek to rule a great city and prey on its youth. So be sure to tune in tomorrow, same time, same station, for another thrilling episode in this story of a fight against the forces behind juvenile delinquency.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. Say, if your dog is a softie, here's a little trick you can try to help give him lots of muscle. Mix Kellogg's Grow Pup dog food in with his scraps of meat and fat. See if it doesn't make his eyes brighter, his coat glossy, and see if it doesn't give him lots of oof, so that pretty soon he'll be able to take it, scramble right along with the gang. Lots of champs feed on Grow Pup, so let your dog have his pick of Grow Pup ribbon, Grow Pup meal, or Grow Pup pellet. Just so's Mother remembers, write Kellogg's Grow Pup on her marketing list right now. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Today, the escape of Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen seems doomed to failure, even as Superman battles against time in an effort to trace them.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. Say, if you should ever happen to feel out of sorts when you get up in the morning, here's how you can knock those blues for a loop. Have yourself a black raspberry ringer for breakfast. That's this week's pep dish of the week, and it's a sure cure for most anything that ails your appetite. Looks neat, for one thing, and tastes just as terrific as it looks. How do you make a black raspberry ringer? Why, it's easy. You start off with your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. Then take plump, juicy black raspberries and make a ring of them on top, right around the edge of your bowl. Add milk and sugar and pitch in. Of course, it takes that golden sunshine flavor of Kellogg's Pep to give this dish a lift. Pep's tender crispness adds a lot of punch, too. Fact is, no matter how you serve it, Kellogg's Pep keeps you coming right back for more until you've polished off the last spoonful in your bowl. Pep's too good to waste, so handle the package carefully if you pour your own cereal. And that's particularly important nowadays when we're sending the cereal grains to fellows and girls overseas. Remember that when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Now, the adventures of Superman. Because the lure of easy money had tempted her to theft, young Mary Hennig, also known as Chickie, came under the power of Al Vincent, a crooked pawnbroker and politician. Under Vincent's orders, she wormed her way into a job on the Daily Planet and stole certain letters exposing Martin Higgins, a candidate for mayor and Vincent's partner, as an ally of criminals. Discovered in the act of theft by Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, Mary and her companions knocked out the two reporters and took them to Vincent, who said they must be put out of the way. Horrified at what she had done, Mary tried to help Lois and Jimmy escape, but failed. As we continue now, Superman has finally succeeded in tracing Vincent's hideout. But even as he streaks to the shabby tenement, a black sedan, curtains drawn, is speeding away from it through the night-darkened slum streets. One of Vincent's men is at the wheel. Another, gun in hand, sits alertly beside him. On the rear seat, their hands bound behind them, are Jimmy, Lois, and the thoroughly frightened Mary Hennig.
What do you think they're going to do to us, Miss Lane?
I just as soon not know until we have to, Jim.
I can't just sit here and not know what's going to happen to us. Look, Mary, you know these guys. Maybe if you ask them...
I don't have to ask him. I know.
You do?
Yeah. Vincent said it's going to look like we were in an accident. An accident? What kind of an accident? The kind you don't walk away from.
Police? You mean...
Yeah. And it's all my fault. I got you into this.
You sure did.
Be quiet, Jim. Now, Mary. I didn't want to, Miss Lane. Honest, I didn't, but I had to. Al Vincent said I'd go to jail if I didn't. He said he'd turn me in. I wish I was dead.
As the black sedan carrying Lois, Jimmy, and Mary Hennig roars on into the night, Superman has arrived at Al Vincent's tenement hideout. Resuming his guise of Clark Kent, he knocks at the door of the ground floor apartment.
Good evening, Mr. Vincent.
Who? Oh, you're Kent, the Daily Planet reporter.
Yes, that's right. Where are Miss Lane and Jim Olsen?
Who?
Miss Lane and Jim Olsen. Where are they?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you do. Mary Hennig was working for you when she stole the Higgins letters from our files. Miss Lane and Jim must have discovered her.
I never heard of Mary Hennig, or no Higgins letters either. And I never heard of Miss Lane or Jim Olsen.
Now listen, Vincent.
No, you listen, Kent. You busted into my shop last night looking for kid burglars and stolen merchandise. Now you come snooping around here talking through your hat again.
I'm not talking through my hat.
I don't like that, see? And I don't like you. Now, beat it. I want to go to bed.
Just a minute. If you've got nothing to hide, you won't mind my looking your place over, will you?
No. I ain't afraid, Kent. Come on in. Well, here's the cellar, Kent. Look around and see if your friends are down here.
Oh, I know they're not here, Vincent. Not anymore.
What do you mean, not anymore?
Just what I say. They're not here now, but they were here.
Who says they were?
I do. And here's the proof.
What's that?
Take a look at it. It's a silver shoe buckle, Vincent. It's one of a pair I gave Miss Lane last Christmas, and it was lying right here in your coal bin. That proves Miss Lane was here, doesn't it?
Ah, you're nuts. I don't know how that buckle got there.
I can tell you how it got there. You brought Miss Lane and Jim Olsen here after they discovered Mary Hennig at the Planet office this evening. You knew they could testify that Mary was working for you and that she had stolen the evidence against your partner, Martin Higgins, the crook who wants to be mayor of Metropolis. You couldn't let them testify because that would ruin Higgins' campaign, and you, too.
You got it all figured out, huh, Kent?
You bet I have. So now if you
Don't move, Kent.
That gun won't help you.
You kidding?
Not at all. Now, where are Miss Lane and Jim Olsen?
Where you nor nobody else will ever see them alive again.
Why, you... What did you do with them? Where are they?
Don't move, I said. You're a smart guy, Kent, but not smart enough. This is curtains for you, pal.
Don't be a fool, Vincent. Put down that gun and talk fast. Where are Miss Lane and Jim?
On their way to where you're going. That's all, brother.
Pleasant dreams. Now, out of these clothes. When Mr. Vincent wakes up, he's going to find himself up in the air with Superman.
What's that? Where am I?
About 5 miles up in the sky, Mr. Vincent.
What? No, I'm dreaming.
You think so? Here, I'll pinch you. Feel that?
Ow!
Still think you're dreaming? Look down.
There's the Metropolis River way down there. It's a long way to fall, Vincent.
How did I get up here? Hey, wait, you. Who are you?
Superman.
Superman?
That's right. Now talk. Where are Miss Lane and Jim Olsen?
I don't know, I tell you. Look, take me down.
There's a faster way to go down. I'll drop you.
No.
Will you tell me where Miss Lane and Jim are?
No, I don't know.
Here you go. Happy landing.
Help! Stop me! Superman, help!
There, I got you. Up we go again. Up!
You just got me in time. I was almost in the river.
Good place for rats like you who tempt youngsters to break the law. Now, you ready to tell me where my friends are?
I don't know, I tell you. You got me wrong.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to prevent murder if possible. Now, do you talk or do we take a ride on the merry-go-round?
I don't know nothing, I tell you. You got to believe me.
Stop it. You told Kent that Miss Lane and Jim were on their way somewhere.
No, I didn't.
Still think you can do away with Jim and Miss Lane and see Higgins elected mayor, eh? All right, see if I can't make you change your mind. Here we go. This is called the Giant Figure 8. 10 miles up, 10 miles down, and loop the loop. Ready to talk, Vincent?
I don't know nothing, I tell you.
You're the toughest cook I've seen in a long time. All right, here's where we really go to town. Hang on, Mr. Rat. Up and around we go.
Stop it!
Okay, Steve, here's the place. See the jalopy?
Yeah. It's over there in the bushes, like Vincent said. Come on, let's go. Okay, Miss Lane and Olsen. You too, Chickie. Get out. Get out of the car, I said.
Where are we?
Way out in the country. Ain't it pretty?
Jeepers, it's dark. Don't be frightened, Mary.
Nah, don't be scared. This ain't gonna take long.
What are you gonna do?
See that jalopy over there in the bushes, Olsen?
Yeah, I see it.
And you see the hill going down right in front of us?
Uh-huh.
So you three chumps are going down the hill in the jalopy, and you're going to have a little accident.
What do you want? An accident?
There's an old quarry at the bottom of the hill, Miss Lane. It's full of water and about 50 feet deep. Yeah, John?
No, you couldn't do that.
Come on, Steve. Quit gabbing and get it over.
Okay, let's go.
We'll return in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, in sports, they usually say that if a fellow's a good starter, he's a fast finisher, too. And believe me, gang, this applies to you. Sure, if you give your day a good start with a solid sort of breakfast, then you're pretty likely to finish up in high, too. So get hep to Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. There's a breakfast dish that makes you want to eat hearty. Looks terrific in the first place, all golden and toasted and crisp. And Pep tastes just as good as it looks. What flavor! Keen, sparkling sunshine flavor. Sunny, delicious, come-on flavor. A toasted full wheat flavor that your appetite can really latch on to. Yes, sir, Kellogg's Pep sure is on the sunbeam when it comes to tickling your taste. Every tender spoonful has the old stuff that keeps you coming right back for more until you've polished your bowl clean as a whistle. Nobody wants to waste one flake of Kellogg's Pep. And pour it out carefully, too. That's especially important nowadays, when the cereal grains are being sent to fellows and girls overseas. So when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, see that it's not wasted. Tip off the rest of your family, too. Make it a habit to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
On a dark, deserted country road outside of Metropolis, two of Al Vincent's thugs have knocked out Jim Olsen, Lois Lane, and Mary Hennig and placed their unconscious bodies in the seat of a dilapidated coupe, which is poised now at the crest of a steep hill that descends to an old water-filled quarry.
Everything all set, Louis?
Yeah, I like the wheel. When we give it a push, it'll go right down into the quarry.
Good. Now, if anybody ever finds them, it'll look like they just had an accident. Come on, let's go. Push. Okay.
Why, ain't Vincent the smart one to think of something like this?
Yeah, Vincent is smart, period. All right. Okay. Stand back. There she goes. So long, sucker!
Gathering speed, the dilapidated coupe bearing the unconscious Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, and Mary Hennig plunges down the steep hill toward the deep, water-filled quarry. Meanwhile, several miles away in the dark sky, Superman holds the ashen-faced Al Vincent by the slack of his jacket.
Talk, Vincent. Talk, or by heaven, No! I can't stand anymore. I'll tell you. But it's too late.
Maybe not. Tell me, where are they? Nerve broken at last, Al Vincent talked as, at the same moment, the car bearing our friends neared the water-filled quarry. Can even Superman save Jimmy and Lois now, and Mary Hennig, from the trap sprung by the vicious men who profit from juvenile delinquency? Tomorrow brings the smashing climax of our story, fellows and girls. So don't miss it. Tune in, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. You know, gang, a dog likes having his own feeding dish and his own bed. And I bet you he likes his own food, too, instead of yours, if you give him Kellogg's Grow Pup dog food. Grow Pup has a grand, meaty flavor dogs go for, and it helps keep them husky, too. Helps give them strong bones and teeth and muscles. There are 3 different kinds of Grow Pup, all of them wonderful for your dog. There's Grow Pup Ribbon, Grow Pup Meal, and Grow Pup Pellets. Ask Mother to get Kellogg's Grow Pup today. See if your dog doesn't go for it right off the bat. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
By transcription. Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the 4 walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Ladies and gentlemen, we present a story of 2 boys and the dreadful game which they played. You might have read about it in your newspaper. It might have happened in your town. And if it did, it must never happen again. So listen now as Escape brings you Anthony Ellis's terrifying play, The Game. There were 2 of them. They stood on the corner of Main and Elm, leaning back against the wall, indolent. Summer sun warm, bringing to them the astringent odor of soft tar and the crack of the sidewalk. It was 2 o'clock by the hands of the jeweler's clock a few doors down the street. And it was at 2 o'clock, quite innocently at first, that the dreadful game began.
What do you want to do, Pen? I don't know. You? I don't know. We could have a couple of games of ping pong. You got the dough? 40 cents. We could, then. I don't know. No, I don't feel like it. Okay. Hey, we could shoot some pool. What's the matter? You always want to play games, kid stuff. You know something? What? I feel like getting drunk. You're kidding. I'm not kidding. You're kidding. What do you want to get drunk for? For fun. Yeah, some fun. My folks won't be back till later tonight. Not me, boy. Not me. I can get hold of a bottle. Not me, boy. Chicken? That's me. Okay, so long. Hey, Red? Wait a minute, Red. You kidding? What do you want to do that for? You got any better ideas what to do? No, but I don't care. I'll see you. You know what would happen if they ever found out. They won't find out. You can stay over at my house tonight. Call your folks. Nobody will know. It's crazy. No, it isn't. Don't you ever want to do something different? We're not kids. Maybe you are. Maybe you need a couple of drinks to grow up. Big man, I'm 2 weeks older than you. Not up here, boy. Not up here. Nuts to you.
And they walked slowly, carrying the idea to a white house with gray trim, a house well lived in, empty now, but waiting. And the boys went in, upstairs, and to a room papered with ships and pennants, signs and maps. One, read, disappeared for a few minutes. The other tried to become interested in a book of fighting ships. He was afraid of what was to come, knowing why and not quite knowing.
That's your father? No. The gardener hid it in the woods yet. I found it a couple of weeks ago. Hid it somewhere else. Boy, I bet that fractured him. How do you like it? I don't care. Straight? Sure. Water chasing? What about you? No water for me. Same thing then. Sit down. We'll talk.
They drank. They didn't like it, but they'd started the game and they couldn't stop. The small clock with an hour front piece ticked above them, the eyes of the bird metronomically switching from side to side. A car passed occasionally, and there was a tension until the sound of tire and engine faded away. It didn't take too long for the warmth to grow and the eyes to become hot, the tongue loose.
Thanks. Boy. Not bad, huh? You're pretty good. Pretty good. Boy. Elaine. There's a girl. Wouldn't be bad having her up here now, huh? Yeah. Wouldn't be bad. You ever take her out? A couple times, I guess. All right, huh? Next? No. Not much. Oh. I thought you two were like that. That's what I heard last time. You kidding. You know what's the matter with you, Ken? What? You're soft. I'm your friend, boy, I can tell you. What the other guys say, think. You know? Guts, boy. Not all there, not enough. You're your friend, honey, I like you. But you gotta have guts. I got guts. Not enough. That's what all the guys say. Penville, they're kind of soft, you know? Chicken. Yeah? I'm telling you. I don't want to be a pal to a guy who's soft. You gotta be hard. Be like the other. How do you figure all this, huh? Nobody asked you. I know what I am. I know I'm not soft. I'm not chicken. You're afraid to get drunk. I'm getting drunk with you. Because you were afraid I'd think you were chicken. That's why. You're crazy. I've seen you afraid. I had to explain it to the guys. When? The time we went shooting ducks for the old man's shotgun. You were chicken then. You're crazy. The guys thought you were. Afraid of the gun. Well, that's not chicken. That's what I told him. But I'm not sure. Now, you can't run out on that boy. I'm your friend, and I'm telling you for your own good.
Okay, you told me I'm chicken. No guts. Now, forget it.
Ready with a gun. You and me can never go hunting up in the mountains, I'll tell you that.
Cut it out.
You are, kid. You're chicken.
You want to fight? Is that what you want, huh? You want it?
What for? That doesn't mean anything. Kid stuff. I got a better idea. You want to really do something that'll show, boy, that'll really show it? Do what? Play a game. You like games? Real easy game to learn. Nothing to it. Here. Have a drink. Sit down. Game? Yeah, I read about it a while back. Russian roulette.
I never heard. Some kind of gamble?
I'll tell you. It's real easy. First, you get a gun. Revolver. A real gun, Penny. Bullet gun, then. So what? You take one bullet, and you leave it in the gun, see? Then we take turns.
What kind of crazy game is that?
We take turns pointing at our heads and pulling the trigger. If nothing happens to you, I take the gun. Bend the cylinder and point it at my head and shoot.
You call that a game?
Sure. See which one goes chicken first. You never know where the bullet is. And if you spin the cylinder and the bullet comes up on your turn, Louis.
Oh, that's nuts.
In this book, it went a long time. And then one guy got like you did. He was chicken and he folded.
Listen, I'm sick of hearing you say that. Now, I'm sick of it. You hear? You want to know something? You get chicken before me. You.
I wouldn't do it to you, Pan. Don't worry. Wouldn't be fair. Forget it.
Now, wait a minute. You started. Go ahead. Finish it. Your old man got a gun, has he?
Sure.
Okay. You want to be crazy? Okay, go ahead. Get the gun. Go ahead. Well, go on. Get it. Let's start playing.
Red smiled a smile of pity. With deliberate ease, he sauntered from the room. Pin might have seen him stagger a moment as he reached the door, but Pin wasn't looking. He was noticing, for the first time, his hands, lying flattened on the table, disassociated. And there was a scar on the right index finger. He got it when he cut himself 12 years before on his first borrowed scout knife. Now, only the scar. A memory on a trigger finger. He didn't look up again until Red came back with the gun.
.38. That's the best handgun. Want to hold it? No. I figured you wouldn't. It's okay. We'll forget it.
Go ahead. Take out the bullet.
Okay. Take out 5. Leave 1. Huh, Penny?
Yeah. Take out 5. Leave 1.
One bullet. For you or for me? Okay?
Okay.
The gun rested muzzle to the wall in the center of the table bearing scratches made by a 3-year-old in a forgotten moment of high experiment. The boys sat opposite each other looking down at the gun. Because the whiskey affected them with a strange new feeling, details of the table edge, the wall, pattern on the rug, these details on the fringe were blurred, but not the gun. The gun was clear and precise, and the gun waited.
You want to go first? Doesn't make any difference. Me neither. Flip a coin. Okay? Call. Head. Head. Okay. I'll take first shot.
Ceremony to the game, then. Sportsmanship. With the toss of the coin, the drink of whiskey, the glass put down. And next to come, the lifting of the gun. Pin stared at it and thought how he would best reach out to take the handle gracefully, practically. He had never held a revolver in his life.
In the cylinder? Yeah. No, the other way. Now. What's the odds the bullet comes up when I shoot? No. 1 in 6, I guess. I don't know. Okay.
He was a careful boy, and so he didn't put the muzzle to his head immediately. At this point of the game, there was a numbness which would not allow for speculation of pain, mother, father. Rather, Pin was surprised by the weight of the gun, the physical oneness with it lying in his hand. He was afraid of it, and fascinated in his fear. Red watched, his mouth open a little, eyes reddened with drinking, but bright, watchful. Seeing the friend of his youth slowly raise the gun, unsteady and awkwardly turning the barrel to his head. He wet his lips and waited.
Didn't go off. No. How does it feel? I don't know. You scared? I guess so. I don't. You sure what scared? Real white. I didn't think you'd do it. You took long. You're doing a lot of talking. You scared? It's your turn. Give me the gun. Boy, that's a real gun. Remember when we were kids? Cat pistols. Bet you never thought we'd be doing this. No. Okay. My turn. Where are you, baby? Where are you? Want to make a side bet on this one? It's going to pay me if you lose. Watch, man. When you make up your mind to do it quick, see? Like this. Now you sweat it out again. Pretty good game, huh? I'll make you one bet, though. What's that? You crack before I do. You're nuts. A buck? A buck? Sure, a buck.
The game had taken another turn. It presented an added incentive to win. $1 bet that one boy would be a coward. A boy would lose his nerve. Wouldn't have the guts to take another chance of blowing his brains out. Good bet, that. Sensible. Right young man. The room was too warm, and outside the middle afternoon sun blazed down hot on the heavy sycamore trees, dusty and still. A 12-year-old passed by on the street whistling tunelessly, childishly, on his way to the drugstore for a soda.
Go ahead. Or do you want to quit now? I'll do it, don't worry. I'm not quitting. Boy, I'll say this for you. A guy who's as scared of guns as you are, you're doing all right. It gets tougher now, though. It's all in the luck, you know? You lucky, Pin? Yeah. I'm lucky. That's good. I'm not lucky. I'm not anything. Why am I doing this? I wonder if I'll hear the noise before I feel pain. Or what it'll be like. When Grandma died, they said there wasn't any pain. It's too hot in here. The gun feels hot. Red thinks I'm yellow. Oh, I'd like it. I wonder if he'd keep on smiling if I pointed the gun at him. Maybe you need another drink, huh? No. I don't want any more. Okay. Well. Then. Well, what's the idea, huh? What are you pointing at me for? You scared? No, I'm not scared. Maybe we should play it this way for a while. I shoot at you, and you shoot at me. That's not the game. Why not? Same thing? No. That'd be like murder. You want to play, you play it right. Who says the way we've been playing is right? Oh, I get it. You're trying to get out of taking your next shot. I'm asking you, who says the way we're playing is right? Listen, when you pointing at me. What difference does it make? Just tell me that. It's the difference we're playing Russian roulette. That's the difference. You want to quit, say so, that's all. I'm not quitting. Okay, then. Take your shot.
It was a thing to be well considered on the part of Red. The abstract quality of self-destruction was one thing, but a gun pointed at him, gun held in another hand. This was not a game of his choosing. He'd have no part of it. Suddenly he knew himself to be sober, terribly sober. And because of this, and the fact that the game had mushroomed beyond his understanding, there was no stopping the play. He knew that Pin was sober, too. And as from a great distance he saw his friend raise the gun, but steadily this time, pressure whitening the index finger, the muzzle touching just at a pulsing vein he had noticed in Pin's temple.
I didn't die. Now he's got to do it again. I showed him I did it. That's twice for me. He's got to take his turn now. I've lived twice. He hasn't yet. I wonder how this started. I wonder why it doesn't stop. Maybe there were only 5 bullets in the thing. No, there were 6. I saw them. There's still one in there. My legs go to sleep. I wish I could get up. Walk on it. You're a lucky guy. Yeah. I'm lucky, too. You better be. My turn now. My turn. Why didn't he quit? He's never had guts. Why didn't he quit? Maybe he's so drunk he hasn't got the sense. No, he's not drunk. Why didn't he quit? It's my turn. I gotta do it. He'd tell everyone if I didn't. He'd tell them all and they'd laugh. I don't know. It feels like the bullet might be coming up. Not yet. I gotta smile like I'm enjoying it. This'll be something to tell our kids, huh, Pen? Yeah, it sure will. How long are you gonna take? What's the matter? Make you nervous? Why should I be nervous? You're sharp. Okay, then shut up, huh? He's scared. He doesn't want to do it. I'm not the only one. All his big talk. He's no more than me. All that big talk. Look at him. He's scared.
It was at the moment that Pin discovered this truth, that he knew he wanted to. He could quit the game. And as he looked at Red, he became aware of a great anger. It had no direction, no apparent reason, but it filled him and made him strong.
Let's quit. You're crazy.
I want to quit.
Nuts to you. My shot.
I don't care. We're quitting.
You quit when it's your shot. I'll take care of myself.
I'm telling you, Red, put the gun down. Drop dead. Put it down.
You're chicken.
Yeah. No. Better answer the telephone. Yeah.
Hello? Oh, Mom? What? No, I'm with Ken. No, I'm fine. Oh, that. We've been playing. Kind of rough, I guess. Sure, Mom. Everything's fine. Okay. Okay, Mom. Sure, Mom. Thanks. So long.
Red stood by the telephone for a long time. And he cried, as he hadn't cried for a long time. Pin stayed in the room. He felt it too. In his throat, the thickness, the tight-held tears. Neither boy knew what it was or why. And then after a while, it was calm again. Red came back in.
That was Mom. Oh? She said we could go to the tavern for dinner. Will I charge it? That'd be okay. Well, yeah. Well, I guess we better clean up the place, huh?
Guess we best. They cleaned up, not saying much to each other. They felt very close, and were not able to express their closeness. Then there was the last thing to do, and the last part of the game to be played. They had to know. So they walked to the edge of the town into a shallow ravine. Red took the gun from his pocket. He still had the shot he'd never fired at himself. He aimed at a half-burned tree stump some 50 yards away and slowly began to squeeze the trigger.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Well, it's about time, Ernst.
Yes, but we did not make contact until half an hour ago.
Oh.
Look, you have the ticket?
Yes, I have it. Third class. That's all I could get.
Well, that will do. Oh, no, Mr. Herrick here. This is Mr. Callender. He will take you to Hanover.
How are you?
Bruce, better not to get on the train?
No. We wait for the whistle.
Oh? Why?
Use the crowd for cover. Now, Mr. Herrick, turn your face to me. That's it. Keep your back to the train. Now, wait. All right, now, Herrick. Be back in a few days, Ernst. As the British zone terminus of the East German Underground, I'd had my share of surprises, but none to match finding Lawton Herrick in my custody. This was the man who had disappeared behind the Iron Curtain nearly a year ago, voluntarily. Brilliant nuclear physicist and authority on thermonuclear reaction, he'd been swallowed up in the gigantic red maw of Eastern Europe, highest bidder for his brain. And now he was back. It was up to me to escort him safely to Hanover to British intelligence. And as we rode, I speculated on why he had come back.
I suppose you're wondering why I came back.
Why did you?
Very simple. I finally realized I'd picked the wrong side. So I chucked the whole show and came home.
Just like that?
As you say, just like that.
You sound pretty casual.
How else should I be?
I don't know.
If it's my conscience you're concerned with, don't bother. I got more from them than they got from me.
Oh?
Yes, I know every installation they've set up, what the fissionable material output is per day, and what their potential is for producing the hydrogen bomb in quantity.
Uh-huh. Where are your records? Notes? That sort of thing.
I memorized. Paper and pencil were too risky. I had a security guard with me constantly.
How did you get away?
I walked out of Magdeburg.
What about the guard?
I imagine they'll bury him with full military honors.
Yes, I imagine they will.
Yes. But we're here now, and I'm safe, and that's all that really matters, isn't it?
Well, I won't feel safe until we get past Tallersleben.
When's that?
Oh, about 2 hours.
Do we stop there?
Yes, for a few minutes.
Mind if I take a nap?
Suit yourself.
Wake me at Tallersleben, will you?
Right. And so he went to sleep. And I thought about how easy his escape had been. Too easy. This was no ordinary defection to the camp of the free world. This man was important. Important enough that his safe arrival could cause considerable embarrassment to those from whom he had escaped. We whizzed into Tallersleben. A few passengers got out. Some came aboard. And we started off again. Did you sleep well?
Very. Where are we?
Leaving Tallersleben.
You slept?
No, Yes? Who is it?
Conductor, sir.
Come in.
Bruce. Now, will you please tell this stupid...
One moment, if you please.
But there is no time for...
Easy does it, Ernst.
Go ahead, identify me, but hurry.
It's all right, conductor. I know him.
What about the fare, sir?
Well, I'll take care of it later. Now, if you please.
Of course, sir. Forgive me, but my job and I have a wife and...
Yes, we know all that. Now, will you go, please?
Yes, sir.
Bruce, now we are in trouble.
Oh, what's the matter?
They know where we are.
What?
They have an agent aboard this train.
Well, when did he get on?
Just now, at Tallersleben.
Oh, we just left Tallersleben.
Yes, I know, and that idiot of a conductor would not let me find you in time to get you off.
Well, then we stay here in this compartment till we get to Hanover.
Now, that is the problem. We won't get to Hanover.
Why?
There is a bomb on board.
A bomb?
Yes, in a suitcase. And the plan is to destroy the train when we get on the Oka River Bridge.
Well, then we'll stop the train.
No, I thought of that, and that's no good. Because whoever it is has orders to explode it if the train stops for any reason before we reach the river.
When did you learn this?
An hour after you left. I received a message from the man in Magdeburg. They found the body of that guard soon after Herrick left. They missed you in Olbiefelde, and they arranged this Tallersleben interception.
But how did you...
I drove. And when I got here, the train was pulling out of the station yard. If it had not been for that stupid conductor...
No, it's too late for that now.
Yes.
We've got to find the bomb. Is the agent a man or a woman?
No, I don't know, Bruce.
How soon before we reach the Oka River?
From now, about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Well, between the three of us, we should be...
No, Herrick. You stay here.
But at least I should...
Herrick.
Yes?
We know nothing of atomic reactions. That is your field. This is ours. Just do as you're told. Will you, please?
I'm sorry.
All right. Ernst?
Yes?
Get the conductor.
Yes,
And hurry.
But why? We are not at war. Why should they want to do this to me?
It's not you. It's us they're doing it to.
But what can I do? Where shall I look?
We'll do the looking. All we want from you is cooperation.
Of course I will cooperate. What else is there for me to do?
Well, not much. Now, first, do you have a list of the passengers that got on at Tallersleben?
Yes.
Good. Second, can we get into the baggage car while the train is in motion?
On this train you can. Some of the first and second
All right,
classes.
that's enough, as long as we can get on this one.
No, wait. What about the baggage? Did we take much aboard at Tallersleben?
Only the baggage clerk knows that.
You'll go with me when I go to the baggage car.
Yes, sir.
Ernst?
Yeah?
Go through the cars claiming that you've lost a bag. You understand?
Yes.
Match up every bag with an owner.
Right.
Mark the location of any odd ones that you may find. He may have put it on one of the baggage shelves and left the train.
Where will you be?
Baggage car.
Yes. But after that...
Back here.
Calendar.
Yes, Eric.
It won't be easy staying here.
You didn't expect it to be, did you?
I suppose not.
Well?
Nothing. Good luck.
But if he's not a policeman and not a soldier, why should I let him in? This baggage car is not...
Carl, do not argue with us. There's no time.
But why should I...
Here, let me. Carl, this is an emergency. I must be permitted inside to check the baggage.
But where is your permit? Badge, credentials, anything that I may look at. Jobs are hard to get. My wife and children will...
All right, then I'll tell you. Someone has planted a bomb on board that's going to go off.
Ein Bomb?
Yes, ein Bomb. And if I don't find it in, well, let me see, an hour and 15 minutes, none of us will be able to hold a job anymore. Now, may we come in?
Yes. Come in.
All right.
What do you want to know?
How many pieces of baggage came aboard at Tallersleben?
Not many. 5 suitcases, a trunk, and that crate.
A crate? What's in the crate?
I don't know. It's routed through to Hanover.
All right, have you got a hammer?
But I have no authority.
Get me a hammer. All right, thanks.
Okay, careful, please. Careful, oh no. Watch out.
Furniture. Okay. Now the suitcases.
Over here.
Yeah. Have you a sharp knife?
Yes, but why?
I must cut the bags open.
Cut? But the owners will...
I'll take the responsibility. Now get the knife. It was the only thing to do. The bags had to be cut open and inspected by hand. Opening a catch might set the bomb off even if the detonator wasn't wired to it, which in all likelihood it was. As I cut into the first bag, I felt a hard knot forming in the pit of my stomach. I reached inside the bag. Close. The second case. Close. The third. The fourth. And the fifth. Then we broke open the trunk. No bomb. I wiped my face. I left the conductor and Carl and went back to the compartment.
Nothing?
No, nothing. Where's Ernst?
Still checking bags, I suppose. How much time do we have?
Not quite an hour.
Time enough?
I don't know.
You're sure the bomb is aboard?
Yes, I'm sure. Ernst doesn't make mistakes.
What do we do now?
Well, you do just what you've been doing. Stay here. I'm going out and check the passengers that came aboard at Tellersleben.
Anything you want me to tell Ernst when he gets back?
Yes, if he gets back before...
We are doomed. We are doomed, I tell you.
What's the matter, Dietrich?
The engineer's going to stop the train.
Stop? What do you mean, stop? He can't. I told you what would happen if we stopped before we reached the Oka.
Nevertheless, the engineer's going to stop.
Well, why?
He says he has a bad coupling on the coal tender.
Well, did you tell him why we couldn't stop?
Yes, he says he can see the bad coupling on the coal tender. The bomb he cannot see.
Oh, no.
Therefore, the bad coupling must take precedence. And he's going to stop the train.
Dietrich, the conductor, had just informed me that due to a defective coupling, the engineer was about to stop the train. And under these circumstances, it was a horrifying thought. Because we knew that the train was to be blown up if it stopped for any reason before we reached the Oka River.
You would still be in the... What's the matter?
The engineer's going to stop the train.
No, he can't. I told you
yes,
what
I know. Dietrich told him.
What more can I do? It's out of my hands.
Well, there's one thing more you can do.
What, Mr. Cullen?
Go back to the engineer. Tell him we want 15 minutes. And tell him that if he refuses, I'll personally kill him.
But the coupling, what about the...
I don't care about the coupling. If it breaks, we're dead anyway. Let's at least try to find the bomb.
Yes, Mr. Cullen, I'll tell him.
Bruce, what shall we do if that engineer refuses?
And I will kill him. Or at least get him out of the cab and let the fireman run the train.
You know, there is still the possibility that agent may have planted the bomb and himself then led the train.
Yeah, he might. But we don't know.
No, that we don't. What about that baggage car?
That's clean. The passenger's luggage?
Oh, no. Every piece matched up.
Yeah.
Now, where can we go now?
Dietrich gave you a list of passengers that boarded at Tellersleben, huh? Yes. All right, give it to me.
All right, here. But they are all checked, Bruce. Except one couple in second class.
Huh?
One couple.
Couple?
Yes, a married couple, newlyweds. They could not possibly be the one. That would be very clever of them. Wouldn't it?
Yes, very. Where are they?
In this car. The compartment third from the end.
Have you a pistol?
Yes.
All right, give it to me.
Here. Do you want me to come with you?
No. Give me 5 minutes.
Right.
This was infinitely worse than fighting in the dark. Dark fighting terrified me. Here my enemy was unseen, unknown, and out of reach. Yet he was close enough to mark us all for death at a specific time. As I hurried along the corridor, I glanced at my watch. If the engineer gave us the 15 minutes I'd asked for, then we'd already used 3 of those precious minutes planning strategy. One thing I knew for certain, that the hand holding the gun in my pocket would not come out until I was completely satisfied as to the identity of the newlyweds.
What can I do for you?
My name is Bruce Callender. There's been a bit of a stir aboard, and, well, the conductor made me a kind of deputy to make an inquiry. May I come in?
Of course.
Thank you.
I'm Lieutenant Sothern, Royal Navy. This is my wife, Gerda. Gerda, this is Mr. Callender.
How do you do?
How do you do?
You're American, aren't you?
No, Canadian.
Oh, good show. Have a drink with us, old boy.
Well, not right now, thank you.
Oh, all right. Well, what's all the fuss about, Mr. Callender?
Well, it seems that there was a jewel robbery in Fallisleben. The thief was apprehended at the station, but not before he'd managed to stow the loot somewhere. The authorities believe that he may have put it in someone's baggage with the view toward recovering it sometime during the journey.
Oh, then you'll want to inspect our baggage, is that it?
Oh, no. I have no authority to do that, but if you will, see for yourself so that I can report it to the conductor.
I doubt very much whether it could be in either my police or Gerda's. They haven't been out of our sight since we arrived at the station.
But you won't mind making the inspection?
No, not at all, my dear fellow. But I'm afraid you'll be wasting your time. Oh, look here. Do have a drink, won't you?
No, thanks, anyway.
We're on our honeymoon, you know.
Oh, really?
Yes. I've been trying to get Gerda to marry me for a long time now. It wasn't until yesterday that she finally made up her mind.
Yesterday?
That's right. I finally wore down her resistance, didn't I, Gerda?
Yes, Roger. Of course.
The bags, if you please, Lieutenant.
Oh, yes, forgive me. Only 2. Mine and Gerda's. I'll get them down. Mine. Shirts, socks, ties. Sorry, Mr. Callender, there's nothing here.
Ah, good. Now, Mrs. Crafton?
I'll do it, Gerda.
No, you may not open it.
Then, if you will open it yourself.
I can't.
Why not, Gerda?
Don't ask me why. I can't do it, that's all.
You have to have a reason.
Please, leave me alone.
This is no time to be stubborn. You can't obstruct the law.
I don't care about the law. My valise will not be opened.
Yes, it will.
I will not open it.
Then I will.
He snapped open the catches of Gerda's valise. And then he saw it. A picture of a rosy-cheeked boy in a Luftwaffe uniform. Proud, arrogant, with a super race. The lieutenant turned away. His face looked like it had been slapped hard. I stood there for a moment. It isn't very pleasant to see a man's world disintegrated by a photograph.
What happened?
They're not the ones.
Oh. Now what?
I don't know.
I do. I'm jumping off the train.
What? Why?
They're after me, not you. If I'm off, the train is safe.
Oh, sit down. You're making a fool of yourself. How do you propose to let him know you've jumped when we can't even locate him?
I can't even die nobly, can I?
Wait here for me, Ernst.
Where are you going?
To find Dietrich.
Mr. Callender, I was on my way to
We
see
need
you and
more time. The engineer must give us more time.
But he won't.
Well, he'll have to. Can the fireman run the train?
Yes, but it's decoupling.
Excusez-moi.
Que voulez-vous?
La porte des cabines est fermée.
Elle est ouverte quand nous avons quitté Callasleben.
Enfin, elle est fermée maintenant.
Avez-vous attendu longtemps?
Oh, mais oui, pendant plus d'une heure.
Oh, mon Dieu, mon Dieu. Un moment. Mr. Callender, the little room at the end of the train, it has been locked, so this woman says, since we left Callasleben.
Dietrich. That's where it is. That's the only place it could be. We've looked everywhere else.
Yes.
Get rid of the woman. Go on, I said. Get rid of her.
Essayez l'autre voiture, madame.
Oh, mais pourquoi?
Essayez, madame, s'il vous plaît.
Oh, bien, merci. Oh, c'est comme ça.
Shall we force the door?
No. He'd set the thing off before we cracked it.
But are you sure he's in there?
I'm not sure he isn't in there.
How will you find out?
Well, I'm going to climb to the top of the car, move down to the laboratory, smash the window and shoot. And I hope I hit him and not the bomb.
But if it is not he, then he will have killed an innocent man.
And if it is, and I don't shoot over 100 innocent people, we'll be dead in 5 minutes.
I don't know if I should permit it. After all, I'm the chief conductor.
We've got 5 minutes, Dietrich. Don't try to stop me.
The responsibility is yours. I will do what I can to help.
All right. Now get Ernst. Tell him what I'm going to do. Tell him as soon as he hears the shots to have you open the door. He'll disarm the bomb. Now, is that clear?
Yes, Mr. Cullen.
All right, then hurry. We only have 4 minutes. As he ran down the corridor, I turned and went to the door leading to the outside of the train. And there I took off my shoes and checked the pistol Ernst had given me. At any moment, I expected the train to start slowing down, which I knew must be followed by the blast. Until I got to the roof of the car, I didn't quite know how I was going to reach down and break the glass. But when I got there, I saw that this time the brakes had come my way. This was an old relic that had the light standards at each end of the car. Carefully, so as not to betray any movement to the man beneath me, I hooked one leg around the standard and let myself ease down. As I hung there for a second, I hoped that the man inside was the man I sought. This was my last chance. He had to be. Then suddenly there was a shift of wind, and I was almost blinded by the cinders pouring out of the engine. I felt an imperceptible shudder go through the train as the brakes were applied. The time was now. I raised my gun and swapped. Hello, Dietrich. Everything cleaned up.
Yes, Mr. Cullen. The passengers are still a little excited.
No doubt.
You shoot very straight, Mr. Cullen.
Oh?
The body will be turned over to the authorities in Hanover.
Oh, just a minute, Dietrich. I'll be right back. Pardon me, madam.
Oui?
The door is open now.
Je ne comprends pas.
Forgive me. La porte est ouverte.
Oh, enfin. Merci.
You're quite welcome, I assure you.
Instant Ralston and regular Ralston, the hot whole wheat cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are in a scientist's laboratory on the planet Venus, bound hand and foot by Prince Baccarati. As they struggle to free themselves, a vacuum pump steadily draws air from the chamber containing a powerful chemical.
Keep struggling, Happy. Got to cut off that pump before the chemical explodes. The cord is digging into my wrist. How much time have we got? It'll blow up when the indicator reaches 1/100th of an atmosphere pressure. 100? Smoking rockets is almost that right now, and the ropes are so tight I can hardly move.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, Cyclone in Outer Space. Time is running out, Space Patrollers. Yes, time is running out in the sensational Name the Planet contest. The contest that's giving away a gigantic rocket clubhouse and 1,750 other swell prizes. So hurry. Get Mom or Dad to go with you to your Weatherbird shoe store for your free space coin album. Now, inside the album are 3 silver-colored space coins and your Name the Planet contest entry blank. The blank for entering your name for Planet X. And that name can win you the Great Rocket Clubhouse with a huge motor truck to pull it and $1,500 cash. Think of it. A 10,000-pound, 35-foot-long spaceship on wheels with built-in bunks, lights, lockers, and even cooking equipment. Think of rolling along in your own rocket clubhouse. Or think of rolling along on a Schwinn Varsity bicycle. 750 Schwinn Varsity bicycles will be given away as second prizes. Schwinn, the streamlined lightweight bike, America's favorite. It's got 3-speed gear shift, it's got 2-wheel handbrakes, and all the other famous Schwinn features. And you have 750 chances to win a Schwinn. And you know something else? You've got 1,000 chances to win a powerful autosonic rifle, an outer space helmet, a Space Patrol emergency kit, or a swell stainless steel Space Patrol wristwatch. So take off right away for your Weatherbird shoe store and get your free space coin album and contest entry blank and enter the Name the Planet contest right away today. Remember, the place to go is your Weatherbird shoe store. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, Cyclone in Outer Space. In all the universe, there is no place more full of tension and fear than in the castle of Prince Baccarati on Planet X. With his plans for conquest of the solar system thwarted at every turn by Commander Corey of the Space Patrol, His Highness has been taking out his rage and frustration on his men. And most uneasy of all is Baccarati's chief henchman, Dr. Malengro, whom the Prince holds responsible for the repeated failure of his schemes for aggression. For a week now, Malengro has feigned illness rather than endure the constant abuse heaped upon him by the evil Prince. But today, he has asked for an audience with His Highness in the tower room of a huge castle.
Well, Dr. Malengro. So you still live here at the castle, do you? I was beginning to think you had gone to Mercury to teach folk dancing or some other art worthy of your great ability.
Humble apologies, Your Highness. I've been ill.
So I have been told.
In spite of my illness, I have not been idle. In fact, I have some very interesting information.
I'll be the judge of that. Just give me the facts.
Your Highness, I have discovered the perfect weapon. A weapon that will not only make it impossible for the Space Patrol to reach Planet X, but also will enable you to strike any planet of the solar system at any time, any place.
Just what is this weapon?
It is called a torque ray.
Torque ray? What's that?
It is a ray that literally twists matter apart, molecule by molecule, atom by atom. The gun that fires it hurls a ring of turbulent force through space at the speed of light. Spaceships can be destroyed the instant they're sighted. One blast of the torque ray could tear a hole in an atmosphere shell. A barrage could level the largest city in the universe in a few seconds. And this force is like a tornado or a cyclone moving with the velocity of light.
Splendid. How soon can you get these torque ray machines into production?
That is difficult to say, sir.
I want 24 of them immediately. Pull my top engineers off of all the other jobs if necessary and get into production.
But, Your Highness, I don't know how to build a torque ray machine. I know nothing of the principle involved.
Then what have you been blathering about for the last 5 minutes?
I'm trying to explain, Your Highness. You see, this device was invented years ago by a scientist named Cyrus Chemical. I read about it in a 45-year-old issue of the United Planets Science Bulletin.
What? Well, the Space Patrol must have the torque ray.
No, Excellency. The weapon was outlawed shortly after it was secretly demonstrated on Saturn's moon number 2. Because government officials decided that such a powerful weapon was not needed to preserve the peace and might tempt lawless persons to try to get the secret.
Do you mean to tell me that there is no torque ray in existence?
The authorities asked Kennebec to destroy his working model.
Where is this Kennebec now? Is he still alive?
I have already checked on that matter, Excellency. He is in retirement on Venus.
Get him. We'll force him to build some torque ray gun.
May I suggest caution, Your Highness? Sometimes it is difficult to force men of integrity to betray their governments.
Then we'll trick Kennebec. I'll do it myself. I'll make him think he's working for the government.
But, sire, he may have heard of you.
You don't think I'm stupid enough to go to him as Prince Baccarati, do you? Get me all the information you can, Malengo. I'm blasting off for Venus.
Meantime, in his central office on the man-made planet Terra, Commander Corey carefully examines an instrument from the control panel of a space cargo ship. Standing beside the commander are Cadet Happy and Major Robertson, the chief security officer.
This is the worst piece of workmanship I've seen in years. How did it ever pass inspection, Robbie?
Well, same old story, Commander. Built well enough to pass the test, and after a few weeks, the elements begin to deteriorate.
Well, I'd hate to depend on that cosmic ray detector in any ship I was flying.
Right now, hundreds of passenger ships and freighters are out in space with instruments just as bad, or even worse. Have you been able to trace the manufacturer of this piece of junk, Robbie?
Yes, sir. It's a bootleg outfit on Saturn. They're not only guilty of selling inferior equipment, but they're infringing on patent rights.
Oh, stealing from inventors, huh?
There's a clear case of infringement on this cosmic ray detector, sir. Cyrus Kennebec holds the patent.
Kennebec?
You know him, Commander?
Yes. Kennebec has given away dozens of inventions just to make space travel safe. He could be a rich man today if he'd patented all of his inventions. This is one case I'm going to take up personally. I'm going to see Kennebec and persuade him to bring suit.
In a small but well-equipped laboratory on the planet Venus, Cyrus Kennebec intently goes about his experiments, apparently oblivious to the presence of a large, important-looking man who has introduced himself as Prasco Zarini, head of an interplanetary contracting concern.
Mr. Kennebec, it's very difficult to talk with that vacuum pump going. Could we step into the next room for a moment?
Just a moment. I'll cut it off.
That's better.
Let's complete this experiment later. Mr. Zarini, I've discovered a fascinating chemical compound. That's right here in this container.
Yes. Now about this
matter. Under ordinary atmospheric pressure, you heat it, freeze it, throw it around, and it's perfectly harmless. But in partial vacuum, it becomes a powerful explosive. The critical point is 1/100th of an atmosphere.
You mean you got some of that stuff in that vacuum chamber?
Oh, yes, a microscopic quantity. Not enough to be dangerous. Let's sit down on that desk, Mr. Zarini. Here's my cane.
It's hanging on the test tube rack.
Yes, of course. I hurt my ankle the other day. Confounded juice. Now, Mr. Zarini?
How about your torque ray gun?
That whole thing, it was outlawed years ago.
Yes, I know. But as I told you, the United Planets government has given me a contract to build a new spaceport on Neptune. We've got to level several square miles of land. With atomic earth-moving equipment, it would be very expensive. Your torque ray could do it quickly and cheaply. It would save the government hundreds of thousands of space credits.
But the torque ray is outlawed.
Yes. But I can straighten that out. I've already talked to several officials high up in the United Planets government. In fact, I have here an authorization from the Assistant Secretary General. If you'll just look at that, Mr. Kennebec.
Well, in that case, that's different.
How long will it take you to draw up the plans and specifications for the pilot model?
Since you're working for the government and the machine isn't outlawed anymore, I guess I can tell you. I never did destroy the plans or the demonstration model.
Huh? You mean there's a torque ray gun already in existence?
Yes. Of course, it's been disassembled. Nobody but me could put it together.
How long will it take you to assemble it?
About 6 hours if I were.
Could I pick it up tomorrow?
Don't see why not.
That's splendid. Naturally, I wouldn't think of turning such a powerful machine over to an experienced man. I'd like to pay you for your services as operator of the torque ray.
if you can get away from your lab. It's been years since I've been on Neptune, Mr. Zarina. I'll be glad to go.
The next day, a very tired old inventor sits in his laboratory listening to Commander Corey and Cadet Happy.
Now, take a look at that, Mr. Kennebec.
Yeah.
Recognize that, sir?
It's my circuit, all right, but the workmanship, the materials. It's a crime, a downright crime.
Exactly. Will you cooperate with us in closing down these crooked manufacturers?
I don't mind their using my design, if only they did a good job. This thing could result in serious injury, even loss of life. Certainly I'll help you, Commander.
I knew I could count on you.
We'll have to wait a week or so, however. I'm helping construct that new spaceport on Neptune.
Your spaceport?
Yes, the new government project.
What government project?
Excuse me, Commander. That's probably the contractor now. That confounded cane. Oh.
What does he mean, sir? A new government spaceport. He's probably got his planets mixed. Some new construction going on. Mercury City port, but nothing on Neptune.
Come right in, Mr. Zarina. Everything's all right. Splendid, Mr. Kennebec.
Commander, the voice, it sounds just...
See this rain machine of yours.
Baccarati.
Don't move. Either of you. Kennebec makes a good shield.
What's going on here?
Let go of him, Baccarati.
I said don't move, Corey. Oh.
Let go of me.
All right, Kennebec. Do as I say, or I'll use this paralyzer ray on you. That's right. You might as well know it now. I'm taking you and your torque ray to Planet X.
No, you can't do that.
Oh, can't I? First, I'm going to make sure that Corey doesn't follow us. Kennebec, get that big container of your new chemical and put it in the vacuum chamber. Go on, get moving before Corey and the cadet revive.
What are you going to do?
Just do what I tell you, or you'll get what they're going to get. I'm going to tie them up, just in case that ray charge wears off. By the time this lab blows up, I'll be on my way to Planet X.
Baccarati, listen to me. You can't do this.
Open the chamber. Put the chemical in. Hurry, Kennebec, or do I have to get rough?
No.
Now, close the chamber tight.
Do you realize what you're doing?
Of course. I'll turn on the pump. Low speed. When that indicator shows 100 of an atmosphere, the lab will blow up.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. They're coming to Earth. Coins from outer space. Terrific space coins, big as $50, with pictures of planets on them in glowing space colors. Gang, space coins are so good looking, you'll want to collect them and trade them with all your pals. And space coins are free. Yes, sir, you get one in every new package of good hot Ralston. And you can get 3 more special silver-colored space coins and a swell album when you see your Weatherbird shoe dealer to enter the Name the Planet contest. So start building up your collection of those super space coins now and be the first in your gang to have a whole album full. Just get Mom or Dad to go with you to your Weatherbird shoe dealer. Tell the Weatherbird man you want your free coin album and 3 special space coins. If he's run out of albums, ask him to get you one. And remember, inside that album, you'll also find your Name the Planet contest entry blank. And inside of every new package of good hot Ralston, you'll find another free space coin. That's the new hot Ralston package with a picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the front. But hurry, no time to waste. Get hot Ralston and see your Weatherbird shoe dealer today. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, Cyclone in Outer Space. Prince Baccarati has rendered Commander Corey and Cadet Happy helpless with a paralyzer ray, and as a further precaution, has securely bound their hands and feet. Forcing the inventor, Cyrus Kennebec, to help him, Baccarati has loaded a powerful torque ray gun in a spaceship and has blasted off for Planet X. Right now, Buzz and Happy are lying on the floor of Kennebec's laboratory on the planet Venus as a vacuum pump gradually lowers the pressure in the chamber containing an explosive chemical.
The paralyzer ray is wearing off, sir, but I'm getting tied up tight.
Keep struggling, Happy. You've got to get loose before that chemical explodes.
I wonder how much time we've got.
Buckarotti's been gone half an hour. The rate that indicator's moving, we've got just about 2 minutes before the lab blows up.
2 minutes? Oh, I can slide back up against that metal table leg. I'd have to cut the cords against the edge.
Happy. The cord around your feet. It's working loose.
Yeah, but it's my hands I'm worried about.
Never mind them. Stand up. Get on your feet quickly.
Yes, sir. I can.
Roll over on your stomach and draw your knees up. It'll be easier that way. That's it. Hop over to the lab table where Cannabis cane is. See it?
Yes, sir.
Now, don't try to walk. Hop. All right, now turn around and grab the cane. Careful, don't drop it.
I've got it, sir.
Okay, now flip the cane around so the curved end is up, right behind your head.
It doesn't slip out of my fingers.
If it does, it's the last slip you'll ever make. It's getting it, Hap. Work it up a little higher. Fine.
Wow, look at that indicator. Nearly the 100th of an atmosphere.
Now hop over to the switch in the wall.
And hook the cane around the switch handle.
Right. Now turn around. Feel around with the cane. I'll try to guide you. You've almost got it. Now stand on tiptoe. That's it. You've hooked the handle. Now hold the cane tight and shuffle forward a few inches. Good boy.
A few more strokes of that pumping. Well, Baccarotti sure did us a favor by not letting Kennebec take his cane.
We're not in the clear yet. Until we open that valve and let air into the vacuum chamber. Too close to the critical point.
I wonder what kind of chemical is in there.
We'll worry about that later. See anything to cut these cords with?
Yes, sir. There's a knife in the lab bin.
Get it, huh?
Yes, sir. I've got the knife, sir.
All right, huh? You stand back to back and you cut the cords in my wrist. And we'll blast off after Baccarotti.
With all rockets blasting, Baccarotti heads for Planet X, carefully avoiding the regular space lanes between the planetary orbits. Cyrus Kennebec slumps miserably in his seat, staring vacantly ahead.
Cheer up, Kennebec. In a few hours, we'll be on Planet X, the future capital of the universe.
I'll never forget myself, never.
What are you talking about?
I helped to destroy one of my best friends, and that young man.
I would have taken care of them sooner or later anyway, with your torch ray.
Why didn't I wreck that machine when I was ordered 2 years ago?
It wouldn't have made any difference, Kennebec. I'd have made you build another one.
You couldn't have forced me to do that.
Other men have said that to me. Men younger and stronger and braver than you. And I've seen them on their knees before me, begging for mercy.
Far behind Prince Baccarotti's ship, Commander Torrey and Cadet Happy head the Terrified toward Planet X. One by one, the orbits of the inner planets are crossed. Then even the vaster stretches between the outer planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. Finally, even Pluto lies behind them.
Nothing in the viewscope yet, sir, except Planet X.
I don't expect to overtake Baccarotti until we get very close to Planet X. No way of telling what vector he took, but we'll see him when he comes into land.
Suppose he's already landed, sir.
I don't think he has. He wouldn't dare take the short vector we did. He didn't have that much of a head start.
Commander, I think you're right. Look at the viewscope. A spaceship, 10 degrees high.
Private cruiser. Headed right for Planet X.
Probably Baccarotti, all right.
Overtake him right now. Kennebec comes aboard. We'll keep on his tail till we see where he's going to land.
Pretty near there, Kennebec. In a few hours, you'll be at work, making more torch rays.
I told you, Baccarotti. You can't force me to help you.
These folks. Let me at the control panel.
You're being followed, Baccarotti.
Space patrol ship, of course. It's terrifying.
It's Commander Corey. He's escaped from the lab.
You double-crossed me. You fixed the vacuum pump so it would cut off before the explosion.
I wish I could.
Shut up!
You might as well surrender, Baccarotti. He's gaining on us. He can board us without trouble. You'd better surrender.
Never. Got your torch ray in the cargo hatch. Get back and plug in the power line.
He's going to fire the torch ray at him.
Why not? And don't try to stop me around. Wait a minute. The torch gun is inside the ship. It would wreck us, too. I got it. You landed the first opportunity. I'll lug the torch gun outside the ship, plug in the power line, and then blast Corey before he can land.
No, you can't do that.
Get your hand off of me. Try that again, and you'll be really talking. I got it. I'll set us down in the black valley. The mist will give us some protection and a chance to set out the torch gun before Tory finds us.
He isn't going to the castle after all. He's going to land.
Maybe he has trouble with his ship. He seems to be heading for that big peak rising up above the mist.
The one with the crater on it.
Probably an extinct volcano.
Uh-oh. He's disappeared.
Put on the infrared viewscope, being happy. He's dived into the mist.
He's playing it smart. If he knows that valley, he might be hard to find.
Just keep looking.
Skillfully, Prince Baccarati maneuvers his ship to put the mountain peak between him and Buzz Corey's ship. Then he plunges into the mist-covered valley. A moment later, he lands the ship on the valley floor. At gunpoint, the elderly inventor is forced to help Baccarati remove the torque gun from the cargo hold and set it up on a sturdy tripod just outside the spaceship. Seconds later, Baccarati has connected a power line from the gun to the ship's electric power supply. And as the Terra 5 circles overhead, Baccarati stands ready, peering up into the swirling mist.
Just stand over there and don't move, Kennebec. I must congratulate you on this torch gun. Beautifully balanced. A child could operate it.
Baccarati, listen to me. Don't fire that gun.
Shut up! Cut it up. We're just coming in for landing very soon. Then a slight pressure on the firing button, and I'll be rid of Commander Corey for good. There he is, coming right toward us. All right, Corey. This is it. You're right in the... No, you don't! Stop it! Get it back! You idiot! You knocked the gun over!
You missed Corey. You missed him. He's coming in for the landing.
What's the noise?
You blasted the top off the crater.
The volcano. It's erupting. All right, Kennebec, this is what you get for meddling.
The volcano's erupting. The whole top of the peak blew off. Wow, look at that lava pour down.
We'll have to settle our business with Baccarati in a hurry. Stand by to land.
Standing by, sir. Commander, Baccarati's blasting off.
We're landing anyway. Look down there. Left Kennebec behind.
Why, that dirty space rat.
We're going to have to move fast. Have cut rocket. Full repeller, Ray. Quick now. Open the inner hatch.
Feel that heat.
Down the ladder, quick.
Hey, where's Kennebec? The smoke is so thick.
Over there. He's collapsed.
Yeah, I see him now. Commander, the hot lava, it's tearing up the trees and pushing rocks along.
You'll admire the scenery later. Give me a hand with Kennebec.
Yes, sir.
Quick now, head back to the ship and watch your step. If we go down, we won't get up again.
You're going to be all right, Mr. Kennebec.
Sure, sir. Just relax. That gun will never be used again.
No, it's back there on Planet X, buried under 100 feet of lava.
But Baccarati, what about Baccarati?
He got away. Did you have your torque gun designed?
Yes, but they won't do him any good. They're mostly in coke.
That's a break.
Gentlemen, I hope you'll forgive an old man for being a coward back at the lab. You risked your lives to save me. And...
Mr. Kennebec, I got a good look at that torque gun just before the lava covered it. It wasn't a coward that knocked that thing over.
I'll say not. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, we're even.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
This is Commander Corey calling all Space Patrollers.
Commander Corey to all Space Patrollers. I have two important messages for you. One, start right away today to build your collection of exciting space coins. Take it from me, space coins are really sharp-looking, big as a $50, made of husky plastic. Blue coins, black coins, gold ones, too, all with swell pictures of planets on them. You get a space coin free in every new package of good hot Ralston, either instant or regular. Message number 2. Hurry and ask Mother or Dad to go with you to your Weatherbird shoe store, because waiting for you free at your Weatherbird shoe store are special silver-colored space coins to add to your collection, plus a handsome space coin album to keep them in, plus your Name the Planet contest entry blank. You'll have to act fast. Get a new package of hot Ralston either instant or regular, with a free space coin inside. And go to your Weatherbird shoe dealer for more coins and your Name the Planet contest entry blank. At your Weatherbird shoe dealer. See him today, and good luck.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are flying over Crater Valley on Planet X when they sight Prince Baccarati's ship on the ground. Quickly landing, they see the prince struggling with a giant native and rush to the rescue.
It's Baccarati, all right, sir. He's beating an old man. Trying to drag him into the ship. Let's get him. All right, Baccarati, break it up. I'll get his ray gun, sir.
Let go, Vicari.
Hey, Commander, the old man's unconscious. Baccarati knocked him out.
Getting pretty brave, aren't you, Baccarati? Beating up an old man all by yourself.
Not quite by myself. Get them, Malengo. Use your terrorizer ray. You got them both, Malengo. This is the last time Corey will meddle in the affairs of Planet X.
Be sure to join us again next week for the thrilling story Under the Sea of Planet X, when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Len Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devery. Other players were Bela Kulbach, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! This is Dick Tufeld in Los Angeles with the story of one of the fastest planes in the world, and a word from the man who test flies it, Joe Lynch. It's North American's Air Force F-86B Sabre Jet Interceptor. Speed, well over 700 miles per hour. Wingspan is 37 feet. Length, 41. Cruising range, 500 miles. Now, by special tape recording made at international airports, a well-known test pilot of the Sabre, Joe Lynch.
The D is a one-man interceptor, so when you fly it, you're really on your own. That's why I see to it that I'm in good condition all the time. And one way to stay in good condition is by eating a good breakfast cereal, like Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. They're just packed full of energy, and they taste swell. I think you'll like them, too.
No other cereal, puff or flakes, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. So take a tip from Joe Lynch, George Welch, and other top test pilots. Make your cereals Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.